You're listening to Power Stance Gaming Podcast, the #1 podcast for gaming and hobby banter. With your hosts, Jacob, Greg, and Muddi.
G'day everyone, Jacob Corner here, Power Stance Gaming. Gentlemen, been a massive couple of weeks with a shit ton. Sorry, swore already in the episode. Sorry, Greg. Sorry.
That's an edit.
Totally unnecessary.
Of news coming out of Adepticon that we are going to be chatting about coming up. But before we do that, I want to introduce the boys who love their toys, Mr. David Muddiman.
Hey guys.
Mr. Gregory Millsop.
Hey, morning listeners.
So, before we get too stuck into it, Greg, what have you been up to, mate?
Oh, you straight into me, all right? Well,
we actually got a bit worried about you. We thought you might have been dead. It's been 3 or 4 days since we've had any good banter from you. So
yeah, no, I'm just busy with all the stuff other than hobbiness, which has been good. Been good though to spend some time with the kids and family and all that sort of jazz and work related things.
What up? Every time you pop over my place, you telling me about how you're just driving around looking for somewhere to sleep and eat your fish and chips.
That's just totally incorrect.
doesn't sound like a Queensland government employee.
I was going to say, it doesn't sound like a government employee whatsoever. We would never do that.
No.
But as for how I've been really well. As far as tonight's concerned, breaking news as far as the Australian cricket team's concerned. I'm sure you boys would have seen it in the news, which has interested me no end, shall we say, because as you might recall, I'm getting some blank stares here from the boys.
You know we don't watch cricket.
No, but the news, it's on the news. You can't not.
Why would I watch that?
Serious?
No, seriously, what's happening with cricket? Did England do this again?
Oh, just no.
Aren't we playing South Africa at the moment?
They're over in South Africa. They were getting bids.
They're actually a good side though, South Africa, right?
Hang on, I'll come into very good point, but I'll just mention.
But they're a good side, right?
Leads very well into this topic.
Okay.
So anyway, the captain Steve Smith, the senior leadership team in inverted commas, told one of the bowlers to tamper with the ball, which is illegal.
Okay.
Which is cheating.
Yep. Okay. Did they do that?
So the Prime Minister's got involved. Oh, not only did they do that, they got caught fair and square in broad daylight in front of the cameras, like to the point where it was on the big screen being repeated back right in front of the Australian cricket team.
Oh,
yep.
I'm assuming they're in a lot of trouble?
They are in so much trouble. So that's the one big exciting. That's just breaking news right now.
Breaking news. Oh,
but
so exciting.
Going back a week ago, I just want to. Obviously, you'll be up to speed on this as well.
Yeah,
but Ireland's a new Six Nations champions. So we.
Sorry, I missed that. The Swans beat West Coast this weekend.
No idea what you're talking about.
And
but anyway, back to Ireland.
The Roar beat Sydney. So
yeah, they
ended their 3-year unbeaten run at Allianz Stadium.
Yeah, they did.
No idea what you're talking about. But anyway, Ireland. So we won the Six Nations with a game in hand. So very exciting. Exciting. Awesome, real sports news. That is incredible. I'm just super stoked for Ireland. Good on you, boys.
Yeah,
and for those that are in Australia, just giving you a heads up that Ireland's coming over in July to play Australia for 3 tests. So
they're playing at Suncorp, aren't they?
They're playing at Suncorp.
Yeah, we should definitely go to that.
Mother-in-law already. I've got bought tickets, and I've asked Cherokee if she wanted to buy an Ireland top, to which I got a negative, a pretty extreme negative. So it's interesting.
Are you in the Ireland Supporters Bay?
You had to pay extra to be in the Ireland Supporters Bay, which I thought was racist.
Added security.
Just quietly.
They need added security.
Yep. No, they didn't need added security.
It's all the extra cleaning, like that. Guinness doesn't come out real easy.
So just saying, I took my mother-in-law and the family last time Ireland played here, and the mother-in-law's comments were she couldn't wait to go back because it was the best game she's ever seen. She's been to Broncos games and the State of Origin, and she said the atmosphere within Suncorp with the Irish supporters was unreal. So I'll be there with my green jersey on. Anyone want to come and help support? That's more than welcome.
But I'll be wearing a gold one.
Why'd you want to do that?
Because I'm Australian, all right, mate.
Australian, mate.
And we're going to win.
You're joking. You are kidding.
Do I look like I'm joking?
Yep. After your one-sider. Yep.
We'll see.
Yep. Anyway, so
that's good. Do you have any actual gaming news? Because we're now 14 minutes into the podcast, and you've talked about
that's so massive, though. That's massive.
Hashtag not a sport podcast.
Go to Swans.
That's massive. Yes.
How good was Luke Parker's goal?
No idea.
Shit.
Oh, wait up. Didn't see it.
As
No
a
idea.
round ball fan, I have to pay that.
Hey?
No idea what you're talking about.
Did you, I sent you the video.
You know
I saw
he
a bit of
doesn't
it.
click
Yeah.
links, man. Come on.
I saw a bit of it. I did actually click on that.
That is
Yeah.
one of the best goals you're ever going to see.
I
in
wouldn't say
Australian
that.
rules.
I don't think so.
It was
Not
pretty
really.
spectacular.
Yeah, okay. All right. Yeah, okay. Anyway, so games-wise, you played Mr. Josh Bruce in an Infinity game last week, which was heaps of fun. We played Capture and Protect, and Josh is he's a long-time veteran, but has had probably, a
Bit of a break.
year or so, or year and a half hiatus.
Yeah.
So just get back into it.
Since Toha came out, he's kind of just left the scene for a bit.
So he's cruising back into it. He played Morats.
Buy the fuck Toho shirts.
And it was great. It was a super close game. So it was one of those games that went down to the very last order in the very last turn, which you can't ask more than that. And one of my dudes had an armor save of 3 explosive shells, which is you got to save 3 armor saves, which he made, and tagged it. On any other day, it would have been toast, and Josh would have got the win. So good on you, Josh. Unlucky, mate.
That was a PC edit right there.
That was smashed him.
Typical Greg Star PC game analysis.
What are you talking about?
Oh, it was so close. It would have been so close if this
Were you
had
There's
running
1 point in it. It was a
Smashed him.
4-3. It was so
BrizzCon
close.
list?
I actually took military orders and
No.
Magister Knight military order link with Santiago's. I've never played them before, so
Okay.
I said to Josh, I've got no idea how to. I don't even know what's good in military orders. I don't know how to play them.
Did you actually
So-
take a fluffy list?
He's took a concession.
I took
wow.
10 orders.
Well, look, Josh has been
10
out
orders?
for a little while, so
Yeah.
10 orders.
he
so-
figured I got an easy win here.
No, I did. In all fairness, I did say to Josh, look, I don't want to. There's no point taking a 20 order list and off you go. And
Pantsing him.
I wouldn't say pantsing him, but giving him a very hard game. The game was still very hard, but it was more equal because I was learning military orders, which are the knights, space knights
I've
in power armor.
Josh sent me a link.
No, he didn't.
I didn't want to bring this up,
No, he didn't.
especially on air. Video footage. Dice tampering.
Really?
He did not.
Milsop.
No way.
Sugar in the pocket.
Abrasively rubbing the one.
Abrasively rubbing the D20s.
Yeah.
Yep.
That could be a thing.
Caught.
That could be a thing. Better watch it.
Yep.
Better watch it.
At first, he thought you were just scratching your nuts a lot. But closer inspection of the video, I have viewed it. It's not good, buddy. You got anything to say for yourself?
Deny everything. Do not recall. Don't know what you're talking about.
Well, the Irish Prime Minister's coming over next week, so you better make...
Yeah. Carlos is flying in.
Carlos!
From Hispania.
So anyway, moving on. Your tools. Played Rumble Slam. Obviously, we had. We had a
How'd
good
that
game.
go for you?
That was that bloody Greek, honestly, and that's not being racist, listeners. That's just the wrestler. He's such an ass.
Did you get garlic sauce everywhere or something?
Oh, he's just a nightmare to deal with.
Tiny.
Couldn't get him out of the ring.
What do you mean? You
Did
couldn't...
you knock him out first?
No.
Nah.
Well,
just
that's-
one strip
Yeah,
for the throat.
his entire shtick is he can't get thrown out of the ring.
That's it.
That's his whole
I want to
shtick.
challenge that. I want to challenge that theory. I think you're pretty right.
3 dice. You need to roll 3 ones
Yeah.
on 3 d6s. That's the math on that.
Yep. Yeah, it's possible.
Yeah, it is.
It was a quick game.
Taking the Millsy view of it, it's
Yeah.
possible.
It was a good game. It was just been like a lunch. We tried the filler approach,
Yep.
and it worked.
It worked, wasn't it? It was
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of fun.
Yeah, it was a good game. And a smashed you, so it's even more fun.
Whatever.
No ball, no tampering.
I just want to point out, it's your game, and I'm learning it. So, you're supposed to let me win. That's kind of how it works. Just,
I did the first.
We let you
game.
win the first game.
But now that we've got you, now we can.
that was just fluky. That was only fluky because Jacob was going to win, and I can't remember what happened, but we ended up picking on Jacob and winning. And
Well,
that was
no,
only
he
a
was
fluke.
Jedi mind tricking it.
Yeah, he was submarining.
You basically only threw him out because you thought, oh, I've got nothing else to do with my turn. I'm going to go hit him and throw him out. And then that was actually the thing that cost him the game. I don't think that wasn't like some sort of plan.
No, it wasn't. That's
Yeah.
right. That's what happened. Yeah, yeah.
Are you saying that there's no deep strategic thinking going on after a 6-pack of beer?
No, there wasn't.
Alright.
Well, definitely wasn't.
Not on our side, anyway. Not in this corner.
Well, I knew I had.
Sure about that corner as well.
I knew I had to throw it
Yeah.
because otherwise I knew Greg would give it a shit review.
That's rubbish.
No, it's not because you won and you gave it 6 dice.
Yes.
On a 5-point scale.
Yeah.
So We found the thing here.
There's a formula.
Yeah.
I worked it out.
He let you in, and it's 6
I had
dice.
notes on how to work it.
I don't believe that's true. No,
I had sugar in my pocket.
stop it. So also played a bit of Alpha Bravo Charlie.
Oh, yeah, how'd that go for you?
Yeah. Again, I think lost.
Yes, you lost.
Yeah.
Oh, who'd you lose to?
You too. Yep. No surprise there.
That was good. That was a good practice game for your Americans.
That's
from
right,
memory,
US
the American
forces.
faction. Yep.
Yeah.
That's
So
good.
pretty keen to get them out again.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yep.
What else? And then I suppose with that, just working on the game.
Yep.
Also, yesterday dipped my hand in the pocket for the first time in a while, and bought Star Wars Legion.
Oh, nice.
I've got
Did
my
you get
shipping notification too.
Yep. And
Yep.
we bought it from our pals, Toy Soldier Imports.
Yeah, so
get on your
definitely
lads.
10% off. Check out that code, guys.
Yep.
Definitely worth
We're
it.
going to give that code again at the end of the episode.
For
Yeah,
sure.
I think so.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
So promo code, end of the episode, 10% off all Star Wars Legion at Toy Soldier Imports.
Yeah, from memory too. It was free shipping too because it was over
That's right.
120 or something like that. Yeah.
125, yeah. I also got a Infinity Building, which I've had my eyes on for a while, so I'm quite excited about that. That'll keep me busy over Easter.
Very nice.
I'm hoping that Legion I can just give to kids and go, let's sort of muddle through it and keep them interested and all that sort of stuff. And hopefully it's kid friendly. Fingers crossed.
Yep.
Yeah.
I haven't
Well,
heard anything.
basically, we're going to have 2 boxes at this rate, so we should be able to put some decent stuff together
For
and
sure, yeah.
crack on.
So very near future we'll have a review episode.
Yeah, there'll be definitely a review, but you better read the rules.
I think I can read the rules too.
It's easier just to give it to Jacob.
I'll have to read the rules to the kids though.
Hey, just make it up 4+.
I don't think the dice haven't got, if it's FSG, it won't have numbers, it'll be symbols.
It's symbols, yeah.
So I can't just say
You
to
don't
kids,
have to use.
oh,
their
guess
dice.
what? 4+. Good point.
Yeah.
There you go.
Make them start flipping cards.
Crazy idea. Ta-da. Crazy idea. And finally, painted up some modern cars, I guess you would say, and my warehouse building.
Are they the ones from
Unpronounceable Workshop
Yeah, that
from
one.
the UK?
I think
Yep.
everyone knows what I'm talking about when I say that.
Anticities. Is that it?
Yes.
Anticities?
No,
No,
Jacob.
nothing? No?
You got the correct pronunciation there off the top of
Mr.
your
You
head.
know, all
Mr.
I'm going to
Teacher?
do is go and find out how to pronounce it correctly and edit it
Edit
back
it
in,
in.
so
Yeah.
I look like the smart one.
Yeah, it's a horrible name.
It's, yeah, whatever. So, yeah, but interestingly, so I got them from Unpronounceable Workshop. You can edit that in.
Yeah, of course I will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And and I also got cars from Kmart and cars from Big W. And I have to say, the $7 set from Kmart is kicking ass.
I was actually going to ask
It's a
you
beauty.
about that. So how did you go about that, and did they scale up okay? And
Perfect. In fact, I got a quasi monster truck from Big W, which is a Hilux with bigger wheels, not monster wheels, but bigger wheels on it.
Were they the ones with the trailer?
No, not from Big W.
Okay.
But the Big W Hilux monster trucky thing is exactly the body's exactly the same scale as Unpronounceable Workshop, so that's pretty cool. It's got bigger flares, wheel arches, but other than that, it's exactly the same size, width and depth and everything. So
Alright.
it's sick.
and
it's,
so what did you do afterwards? You just put some washes over the top and
now I spray painted them, and then
right.
like different colors, different
Yep.
car colors, and then got matte varnish
varnish,
for
dulled it
furniture.
all down. Yep.
Furniture polish, and just spread them with that, dulled it down, and then black lined it with a pen, like a felt tip pen, and then just a bit of highlights, and you'll see them tomorrow on Workshop Wednesday.
Oh,
Put them
sweet.
up.
Cool.
Yeah,
Cool.
so I'm pretty happy with them.
Yep.
They'll work really well for $7, man.
Yeah, that's
two,
that's definitely
Two cars for $7.
because whenever
Get down your old
I've
Kmart,
been
folks.
doing the board, I've pretty much been just using those the Walking Dead cars,
Yeah.
and there's only 2 cars,
Mm.
so I've got like it must be about 12 or more of this of 2 type of car.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a bit samey.
yeah. Well, Kmart's your place to go,
Alright.
dude.
Cool.
I've got from China just 1 to 43 scale diecast cars, and you usually get them in packs of 3 for 10.
You've got quite a few too, because you had some bikes and you had the big
Yeah.
truck
so
and
that's
whatnot
it,
as well.
Just from China Mart basically, and
Yep.
get whenever they come on sale, you
Yeah.
get them cheap. And I think 1 to 43 is really good scale for 28 mil.
Yeah, the Kmart ones were 1 to 50 actually, and I have to say, even though they're 1 to 50, they scale perfectly against 1 to 43. Like you can't. you put them beside one another, you couldn't tell the difference.
So there's not much of a difference between the two.
Because the camo ones are like more like a kiddie toy, like they're more beefed up. They're not accurate.
Yeah.
So hence why you can get away with it. But they're gold. I love them. So I'm going to be getting some more, I think.
Nice.
Cool.
Well, dude, you have had a very busy couple of weeks.
It's been a very busy couple of weeks.
You got any more?
That's about it, really.
That's about it?
Yep.
Nice.
Jacob, do you want to go?
Me, I've had a very quiet couple of weeks, really.
Oh, go. You go.
Yeah, no, so I've just been flat out at work this time of year. Yeah. But pretty crazy. And the only thing I've done since we last recorded was I played a game of Infinity with Chad.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
And that was okay. He played Toha.
Oh.
And he
Hashtag
was,
fuck Toha. I can say that because that's a t-shirt.
That's an edit right there.
Buy our t-shirts. Look, we're going to stop whoring these. We're not.
No, you're
We're
not.
not going to stop
No.
whoring these.
By the way, if you wanted custom t-shirts, just contact us at our contacts at the end of the show.
He doesn't know the context.
Anyway.
Greg, you've told us what you've done now. Just sit and be quiet.
So played Chad. He played Toha. It was looking good. First turn, I took a pretty funky hack Islam list. Rather big Maggie G, the Scorpion tag.
That's the little robots.
Tank.
Big robot.
Big robot. 80 mil base?
Yeah.
Oh,
so I
right.
had that, and I had...
But it's really low profile, right?
No. It's
Oh.
the biggest profile in the game.
Oh, right. Well, what's the little one? It's like a little scooty cart thing with a big gun on it. It's like a darn
Just
Yeah.
fuck Infinity.
don't comment on Infinity.
I'm getting a drink.
Yeah, anyway, so, yeah, I took Maggie G, I took a Drop Troop, I took an Impersonator, I took
Wow.
basically one of every toy that Hack gets. And it worked really well for the first turn. Then he had Nima, who just spent 10 orders shooting my tag, and my TR bot, and my HMG.
And she's
And
not a
then
drop
I
troop,
was-
is she? She just like
No, she
from
just
its
walked
deployment
up.
zone?
Yeah, through a saturation zone. She was throwing 3 dice, 4 dice on 13s, and I was suppression firing her back 2 dice on 11s.
Suppressive fire!
So it was game over after that turn. It was just how badly I was going to lose.
So did the dice beat you?
No, Toha beat me.
But hang on, Nima didn't come with symbiomates. Or does she?
What do you mean?
As in, well,
She's got symbiote armor. You can give her symbiote mates.
No. But Chad didn't run it with symbiomates. Did he?
I don't know, probably.
Well, you played him.
I think so. God, it was a week ago. I'm not the one laying awake at night going over my games.
No, only the point being that the big chat at the moment is that taking 4 symbiomates is seen as OP, perhaps?
It is OP. There's no ifs or buts about it.
Okay. Yeah, so...
Are you disagreeing? You think 4's alright?
Would you do it?
I've only played 3, I think. It's against 3. So I'd need to play it against someone who took 4 and see what it'd be like.
You can't play against 3. You either go 2 or 4.
Oh, 2 or 4, is it?
Yeah.
It must have been 4 then. It would have been 4.
Yeah.
So it's a pain in the ass. I think on a shooting game, on a game that's based on shooting and having something in your army that completely negates shooting, I think it's got to be at least considered as broken.
Can I just jump in from the outsider's perspective? Are you guys having quite a few teething issues with the game? It seems like a lot of little things are starting to crop up in the conversation where maybe the rules aren't laid out properly enough to stop this sort of
No, the rules are very
min-maxing
clear. Like, you got to say this to infinity. The rules are clear.
Yeah.
It's just sometimes something's just a bit wacky in them.
I would say...
I'll just quickly hop in. I just feel like sometimes you guys are saying one of the main key lines is something along the lines of it wasn't meant to be designed this way, like as in the game's turning into something that it wasn't really supposed to be at the start.
No, I wouldn't go that far.
Yeah.
I think what you've got is you've got a game with 200 individual units in it. Off the top of my head, I'm just a rough count.
I would say, yeah, at least, yeah. I reckon.
200 individual models with individual sets of rules and combinations of rules. So every now and again, you're going to get ones that just...
The game's
stick
getting
out.
complicated.
And Rory mentioned this in a game I played with him a while ago now. In every single army, and this is specifically Infinity, in every single army, in every faction, there's one auto include. There's one, maybe not broken, but certainly one entry that you just can't. You just got to go, that's awesome. For the points you pay for it and for what it does, I have to have that in every single list. And this is the same thing with Toha. Yeah, you got to have them. Like if you want to win games and you want to be competitive, you take these dudes because they're awesome for what they are. And that's Toha's thing. That's their broken, in inverted commas, piece.
It's one of them.
Yeah.
Do they have cappings in Infinity where it's like you can only have three?
Yeah, there's availability. So some models are availability total, and some models are availability 5 or 3 or 2 or 1.
Right.
All that sort of stuff. And it depends. But yeah, anyway, so no, I mean, I'm having a whinge here, but Chad played well. His list is great. If he takes it to BrizCon, which I think he intends to do, he's going to do really well with it. So, and when my stuff worked, it was good, but you can't, and that's, I guess, the other thing with Infinity. When you're coming up against someone with a tooled tournament list designed to win games, you can't take just fun stuff.
Yeah, that's exactly true.
You either go hard, or you need both players to be playing in the spirit of, we're going to chuck some dice.
Go hard or go hard.
Yeah, it's that privateer press mentality, I think, is okay. So, and, you know, Chad's going to a tournament. He wants to test his list. I don't begrudge him that at all. But I'm chucking 10 models that I like on the table, not necessarily thinking about synergies and that sort of stuff. Then I'm a huge disadvantage. But that's any games like that. I pick 2,000 points of models I like in fantasy. You come up with your tournament army, you're going to smash me.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily an Infinity thing.
Yep, I'd agree with that. It's good to see Chad back playing too.
Yeah. But you know what, and I said this in the group chat, I want to play games that aren't ITS games. I'm getting tired of the tournament mission system. Just when you've got a rule set like Infinity that has so much scope in it, playing the same tournament missions over again.
Sounds like they're shortchanging. Shortchanging.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, it's like the same
They're pigeonholing it.
with fantasy. When we went through that run in fantasy, where all we played was Battle Line.
Yeah,
because we played Battle Line tournaments all the time.
Yeah, but that was more than that because let's be honest.
And that's why I kept wanting to go, let's do the campaign. Let's do Storm of Magic.
Campaign, Storm of Magic, I love that stuff. But the actual missions that were in the book were pass.
Yeah.
So that's why I ended up always being Battle Line. But I always used to have my hand up for Storm of Magic and things like that. Loved it.
I have to say though, I mean, I played one game, which was unfortunate last year of the campaign that Corvus Belli ran, the thing Wotan, Strike Zone Wotan, I think it was called.
Yep.
And the missions weren't ITS; they were ITS based, but they added a fun element to it. And the one game that I did play, I was like, oh man, this is cool. Like it adds, going back to what you said, it adds that extra. It's pushing the rule set, or no, not pushing it, but adding a bit more flavor to it.
Yeah.
So the campaign's coming out later this year, and maybe have a few games in that.
Yeah, I'd really be keen to. I mean, ITS is designed to be a symmetrical tournament system where each opponent has the exact same chance. That's cool, but that's not necessarily what I like doing.
Well, when does the slow grow finish?
Not sure.
No, I'm actually curious.
Well, Roy's looking at kicking one off after BrizCon in 3 weeks' time, and
another one.
Yep, we're supposed to wrap this one up before we start.
So it is wrapping up pretty soon.
Well, we've got 2 games left.
So, right, cool.
Fingers crossed that we get wrapped up.
And the other thing I did was we played the first session of our Infinity RPG campaign, which was a lot of fun. So shout outs to Josh, Tristan, Big Mike, and Brad. It was a great session.
Is that Bubble Boy?
Was Bubble Boy?
Yeah, nice.
Killer story about Bubble Boy.
There's always one.
Did he fall off his chair?
Close. So the mission was they got sent by the handler. They had to, and I apologise to listeners. There's nothing worse than hearing about other people's RPG sessions. But their mission was they had to go to a warehouse and crack into the network and see what was going on there, and then plant demo charges and bug out.
That's pretty cool.
Easy enough, right? That was the mission. So they scoped the place out and they discovered that there were hatches on the roof. So they decided that they're going to do an aerial insertion.
Why would you?
Land on the roof and fight their way through the warehouse. I don't know why. Anyway, but that's the thing, I've learned with playing RPGs that your players will find ways to throw spanners that you didn't even know existed. Like I'd set up to, they're going to sneak up and they're going to go through the ground floor and take out the sentries and be all stealthy. And no, we're going to land on the roof, shoot our way through it.
That's a spirit.
So they land on the roof, and Mike's character does all this narrative thing. He teaches the other ones how to, because he's got a 0G background, being Infinity and Nomad from Krigador, and all this sort of stuff. And so he teaches them how to land properly and get off and like success. And they lay over, they jump off the ropes, they land properly, everything's stealthy, no alarms raised. Brad's like, my character's going to go over and have a look over the edge. Brad's character proceeds to fall off the roof, tumble down the side of the warehouse, and raise every alarm in the thing. And it's one of those moments where you see the other three players around the table looking at the one player going, an hour. We spent an hour planning that, and you fucking fell off the roof. So it was good fun.
That's a classic.
Classic role-playing shenanigans.
Yep. Good old
yeah, it was
Brad.
really good. So it was fun. And something with the rules I really love is how the game works in Quantronic space, like the hacking and, info war sort of side of things alongside the physical. Like you can have hackers hacking a network and that playing out, them coming up against the AI and the security systems and that sort of stuff while the firefights are going on. And like the hackers can be turning off and on security cameras and helping, and people can be, doing all sorts of stuff, planning repeaters and cool shit like that. So there's the way it all meshes together is really good in the rule set. Big fan.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Very jealous.
I put up the link to our Obsidian Portal page on Facebook, and we'll refresh that every 2 weeks or so when we've got some updates. Sessions will be every 2 weeks, so you can follow along the story and see everything from the character's point of view in universe.
Live recording.
Probably not. Just saying.
That sounds like a poll.
Just saying. Speaking of polls, hope everyone's voted. We've got 200 likes now. We want to celebrate that.
Oh, yeah, that's a big event, isn't it?
We've got the rap video option, which is currently losing
Yeah.
to us taking 200 shots in an hour.
I'm just going to randomly find people on the street, get them to like the page so they can vote.
I think maybe our listeners probably know us maybe pretty well, I would say, because I think the 200 shots, they go, yeah, those three guys, yeah, they can do that. They can achieve that. That's something that's achievable.
But they
You know
should
what?
also know MC Sparta,
MC
and Game
Sparta.
Master of Ceremonies
That's
over
it.
here.
It doesn't work, boys. It really doesn't
Irish
work.
stew.
There's nothing
Irish
worse.
stew.
There's nothing worse than listen to... Yeah, it just doesn't work, boys.
Third base, baby.
Oh my goodness, I feel let down. Really, I'm not angry, just disappointed.
I am disappointed.
Vanilla Ice couldn't do it, boys.
Vanilla Ice has his home renovation show now. Okay, he's winning.
Yeah. What does the normal white guy get for doing 200 shots? Nothing. You put your hat.
A good time, which is pretty much... That's
You put your hat backwards, spit a few rhymes, and you get your home improvement show.
Although when Muddi does projectile vomit, that will go viral.
for sure. That would be funny,
While
actually.
I'm rapping.
Yeah, you can rap. You can rap what you want.
Yeah,
through
do
this
whatever you
video.
want.
Yeah.
Spew up would be funny.
Anyway, that's me, Muddi. What have you been up to,
Oh,
bud?
right. Okay, so... Well, Gregster's already pretty much dropped half of the info. Yep, we played the game of Rumble Slam.
Boom.
I think it was a smaller game. It was, like we said, a filler. Probably, three miniatures a side or four?
Four we played.
Something like it was a smaller dosh
Yeah,
amount.
two,
Probably,
two goblins and then the Hulk. and
yeah.
the guy,
I think you had the
Yeah.
troll. You had
Yeah,
the troll
so
still.
four.
So I'm thinking it was probably about lightweight sort of belt.
You call me lightweight.
That's the size of the game. They've got it by belt
okay.
size. Yeah. So I smashed you in that. That was good. That was good fun. And like, if you're listening to the review on Rumble Slam, and if you're even remotely interested, you really should jump on board because, like we said, we just knocked that out during lunch.
Yep.
So
45 minutes.
yeah, so you can have big games or you can have little games, and no dramas. And looking forward to basically Jacob getting off his ass and running some form of a league. I don't know if you're thinking, maybe a tag team or a certain amount, like some sort of belt amount, 1 mil,
we'll sort
under a
something
mil.
out. Yeah.
Yeah.
1 mil's good, the starting level.
Yeah, so that's middleweight? I think it's roughly middleweight. So there'll be a championship belt happening. I can see myself wearing it already. Played a bit of ABC.
I'd say you're heavyweight though.
Nah, I'm too little.
I'd say you're heavyweight.
They're big boys, mate.
You get a bit of extra.
Yeah, I've got to be there.
extra tires
I have to
on
get rid of that. Yeah, I got to get rid of that.
Both of you shut up.
Yeah.
All right.
ABC. We did your playtesting game. I played as the Russians. I hadn't played as them before. It was a good game.
Quite topical at the moment, given, as Jacob said, the news at the moment.
Yeah, and I
Everything that's going on with Russia.
yeah, it's good, and they played pretty well, held the line, and smoked some US guys up when they thought they were about to run across the streets and get to the biggies.
I just want to make clear for the listeners that it's playtesting, which means the rules are being refined. So it's not really technically a win. Just want to put that out there. It's not technically a win.
A win is a win. Apart from that, that's basically all the gaming I think I've done. In the meantime, I've been working on the next video that's going up this weekend for Rumble Slam. We're going to do a video up on that for YouTube. So that's been busy just getting all that to sort of fit and work, and just working on my own little game in little dribs and drabs. Oh, and painting Numidians for the Ancients lovers out there. Got a little bit of Numidian action for my Roman legions. They're going to be my skirmishers.
Nice.
Yeah, so
How you go with the dark flesh tones?
it's so easy to paint.
Isn't it? That's why I did my ogre army.
Yeah, I thought I was going to be
dark
like,
flesh.
because I haven't really done much like dark flesh, and I thought, oh, this might be a bit. But it really isn't. Yeah.
It's nice. Once you get, so you're going dark for Numidians?
Yeah, dark.
So same as I did with my ogres, you get that base down, you put the wash over the top, and it just like glistens that dark.
Yeah, but it's
one
like
nice highlight.
Yeah, I feel guilty
done.
doing it.
Yeah.
You're just like, oh, it's kind of a bit cheaty, but they're going to look good as skirmishers too because they've got the light sort of dress. I've got shield transfers coming over from Little Big Men Studios via Victrix, so they're coming over at the moment. So once I get those, I can put the shields on and I'll be able to put them up on the Wednesday. Oh, and the other thing I've been doing a lot of is shopping apparently at the moment. Oh my God, I cannot stop buying stuff. I was actually going to bring this up with you guys anyway. Like, is there a point where you do reach a saturation and you're like, you know what? I can't play all this stuff, but
Yes, there is.
but the collector in you, basically just says, no, but I've got to finish this off.
Yep. Well, when I got the SADs with Harry Potter,
Yep. You just thought, I've got all this extra money.
and I chopped a couple more 100 on Fallout,
And the funny thing is,
but I'm sitting there at the
he's
computer.
going to still buy Harry Potter.
I'm
It's
not.
going to happen.
No, I've made my bed. I'm going to lie on it now, and you can hold me to that.
We'll do a poll.
You can smoke a poll. So at the same time, I'm clicking send. I'm like, okay, I'm now up to over 60 models coming for Fallout, and
That's going to take a while because looking at, is that going to be a painting project that's going to have a lot of love into it, or is it going to be,
yeah.
I want to get it? Are you
It's
going to be able
not
to
gonna
play with it unpainted for a period of time? Because
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to.
yeah.
I'll give everything a nice base coat,
Yep.
but then the rest.
Are you
of it
getting
will be-
terrain to go with this as well? Because I saw they got terrain.
I'm getting
with,
all the
like
terrain.
some bridge or something.
Bridge.
Is it a bridge? A red rocket thing or something?
That's like a service station.
Is that? Oh, okay.
It's a garage. Yeah, I got the red
sorry.
rocket.
Yep.
So
You're getting that?
yeah.
Ah, cool.
Red Rocket is like one of the first things you come across in the game. Like it's pretty iconic.
Oh,
Fallout
right.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. See, I've never played it, but I thought if you're gonna put this much effort into all your miniatures, and you're saying that this could be a 6x4 type. Event?
Eventually, yeah.
Yeah.
Interestingly, they've
yeah.
released for all the people that pre-ordered. They've got all the rules already, so they're all up on Drive-Thru RPG.
Yep.
So managed to download all that.
And
read all
you've
the
looked
rules.
at it. You're happy with it?
Yeah, and their rules. Okay, so you can actually build your base over a series of games, and like you go out and you scavenge and you find resources and you build your base, and then like you get attacked by waves of enemies and you've got to hold them off. Like there's heaps of potential here for cool shit, and it feels very Fallout just from the rules. So
So that's it's a
keen.
massive tick in the book then, because
Yeah.
now you got rules that are actually going, like making you think of the computer game and it fits.
Yeah.
You've got miniatures that you're liking, and they're bringing out terrain to give it that game feel.
It feels
as well.
authentic. Yeah. So the Red
Feels
Rocket,
authentic.
the Red Rocket terrain is based off the model from, like they got the model from Bethesda
Yep.
that they used in the game.
Yep.
And it's scaled appropriately and everything matches.
All right, so he's gone.
Like it's
pretty cool.
Bye, Jacob.
It's very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So super keen on that. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
But back to your point, I clicked purchase, cart, checkout, PayPal, see you later. And then I'm sitting there going, I shouldn't have done that, Like I'm at that point of saturation. But I guess we're going to talk about this later on in the show.
Because I'll just quickly go through the purchases I've made in like a week.
Quickly.
Okay, so obviously I bought Numidians, Roman auxiliaries, elephants for my Macedonians, all the transfers and whatnot to go with that. I got the 3x3 space mat so we can play some Armada over at Connexio or whatnot.
Good shit, yes.
Yeah.
Nice.
The Malifaux terrain's all finished, so I finished off the purchase of that. So that should be getting sent within the week. There's more. There's so much more. And on the top of my head, I can't think of it.
You bought Legion.
Oh, yeah, Legion. There's another one. Yeah. Yep. It's just... everything just happened at once. I'm sitting there getting to the sort of end of painting projects. For people listening, one of the tips I think I said once before is I never... to try and keep my spending at a certain amount, I never purchase more stuff. Oh, then that's right, Rumble Slam. Event cards, more dice. I got the tokens, stencils, and the referee
Did you do
exclusive.
another order?
I did another order after I spoke to you as well.
You should have told me I would have jumped on it.
Oh, well, I saw that's why I sent you the images. I'm like, oh, look, you got Gravedigger Badass miniature, which is an event exclusive, and the referee, which is an event exclusive. And no, it didn't seem like anyone was biting, so I didn't need the Gravedigger one. So I just went and got the ref straight up because I thought, no, I can't.
Is that Friday night?
Yeah, I was pretty much straight up. As soon as I saw the release for that, and we've got to talk about. It'll be in news. You know what? I'll end it right here because I want to talk about news.
Get in news.
So that's been 7 days. 7 days. So the credit card got a bit of a pounding.
Yeah, well, freaking some of it, Mighty Pay with the Afterpay was a big chunk of it because it's like, it's only $60 each time it comes out. You're like, oh, sweet.
Yeah, you don't even notice it.
You don't even notice that. So then you end up going and buy Legion, and then you go buy, and you just end up
dangerous boys, dangerous.
Yeah.
We got a shout out to Justin at Emerald Hobbies. Who
Yeah,
now
they
has
got me
Afterpay on all his Infinity purchases.
Yep.
So yeah, I've actually picked up all the JSA new release stuff and a bunch of more Japanese models to go with that too.
See, there you go. So we've all got our little collectors things at this point.
Maybe we'll talk about this a bit later.
Actually, one more thing. One shout out to Neil. Neil, if you're listening, let me know when your Roman legions are painted up, buddy, and I'll smack you in.
So first up, we've got the G-Dub back on form. Some would say, some would not.
Are we talking sea elves?
We're talking
here?
deep sea elves, not sea
They
elves.
are deep sea elves.
Yeah. So the fluff is Teclis takes the survivors under the ocean.
Atlantis, bro.
Yeah. And
Good on them.
Oh, look, they've hit it out the park, right?
I'm blown away.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But you know what?
I almost want to play Age of Sigma.
Flying turtles, six-legged
Yeah.
turtles.
This is the thing. This is the thing that they're doing so well with Age of Sigmar is they're taking the tired old fantasy shit and spinning it, and they're taking risks. This is risky shit to put elves like this out into the market.
I don't.
No, you don't, because
those elves look freaking amazing.
And I'm with you.
Yeah.
I'm with you. And I was
Grumpy
the same.
Pants. What's Grumpy Pants going to say, though?
You know what? They're not white linen in a straight line hiding behind a hill, so he's not all.
Yeah, that's true. Hiding behind the castle. Yep.
Well, so are you genuinely not a fan, Greg?
I wouldn't buy them. I think they're great. I do. I think like that I mentioned earlier, the guy with the sea cloak thing.
Okay,
the wave cloak.
Can I just change the context of how you're answering the question? Let's say you're just starting out. Would you purchase that as an army and you're fantasy inclined? Because let's be honest, you are not fantasy inclined and you're not looking to buy any models.
Yeah, but if you're asking me the question, I would say no. Like, I think there's better archetypes out there that I think fits.
Well, see, this is the thing. It's not an archetype anymore. Yeah. They're spinning the things.
They've taken elves and thrown in Atlantis. And
It was briefly.
And the Greek tones in their armor and the clothing.
Yep.
Oh my goodness, those helmets, the Corinthian style helmets, are incredible.
They've nailed it. If I was starting again, literally, I would be there in a heartbeat. And it's hard for me not to now. Like I just talked about how much coin I've just literally dropped. There's only so many games that I honestly have the time to play. But if I had more time, like I think I sent you a text today, basically. Jacob here, I'm talking. We need to quit. I just need to quit work so I can play all these games because I just do not have the time.
Back us on Patreon.
Yeah,
at,
please.
Please.
If you want to see me be able to quit work, play games.
Actually, you can. It's called Centrelink.
I can't afford GW models.
There's afterpay payments.
I'd have to be selling ass or selling ice or something.
I wouldn't buy them. I would not buy those models because I feel no way in hell could my painting skills do them justice.
Yes.
This is how good these models are. I feel if you didn't do a top-notch paint job on them, you're doing the models themselves an injustice.
Totally agree.
Because they're so, and I think the studio paint job as well that GW have got on are just incredible.
If I was getting into that, I would literally purchase them to be painted for me because I just do not want to infect them.
Yeah. And it's the same. I walked into GW the other day and picked up, what's her face? The Dark Elf Bird.
Oh, Marathi.
Yeah.
You went into a GW store?
I was in Chermside.
Did you manage to get out without buying anything?
I bought paint.
Did you get glue with it?
No, I'm not buying that
A
shit.
tape measure.
And a white dwarf.
And I'm looking at the model, I'm thinking, I really want it just to paint and have on the shelf. I'm not going to use it, but at the same time, I'm like, it'll be a waste because I couldn't do it justice.
Yep.
Yeah.
That speaks volume. Mate, they're hitting it out of the park, and God damn it,
so good.
Leave me alone.
But then they still did it back in 8th edition with, they went from, your 28mm essentially fantasy dude. Like that was up until from essentially 1st edition up to 7th edition was you had your 28mm fantasy dude. You maybe had a chariot, that was your centerpiece, or maybe a monster. But it was a metal monster. And then in 8th edition, heralded the big monster sets. And that was a tipping point.
Well, they had the advances hand in hand with 3D sculpting and the advances in injection molding.
Yeah.
That they could finally make these incredible
things.
That's
exactly right. But I mean, do you remember it came out, well, first of all, it was a High Elf Dragon, but specifically it was more the Tomb King's recreations. That was the tipping point where all of a sudden... The constructs, sorry. They came out and went, whoa, and you were like, what the hell's going on here?
Yeah, but this feels different though because this is like when was the last time they brought out? I feel like this is like a new army. Like when was the last time in fantasy? Yeah. And like I'm not keeping my eye on it all the time, but when was the last time a new fantasy army basically came out?
Yeah, I got to agree. It's the shift in the archetype, as Greg was saying. They're not high elves. They're not typical elves.
This is something else.
It's a reimagining of this thing. And if this is Teclis taking them and preserving them, and this is what comes out at the other end, that's a huge shift for G-Dub. I love it.
Yeah. I really hope these models sell like crazy too because they deserve to. They really do.
Well, I was thinking the other day, like, Age of Sigmar at CanCon this year looked incredible.
Yeah.
Absolutely incredible. And I'm super keen next year to go down and see.
Just to have a look.
No, I'm not going to play.
Oh, okay.
I'm not going to play. I'm thinking Malifaux next year. But
are you really? Okay,
yeah,
that's all right. Off air, all right.
Off air, we'll have a chat.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just think I can't wait to see what's going on with these armies over the next 12 months.
Yeah. Oh, if they're doing that, okay. So, have you got any more GW news in there? Okay.
Oh, is it the big one?
Is this the bit that I brought up with you guys? Did you put that link in? All right. Hit me with the next lot of GW
Well, next
news.
up, we've got the Van Saar minis for Necromunda.
All right. Can I backtrack?
Yeah.
I'm assuming you got no more news on the fantasy.
No.
Okay. So there was that release coming out.
Oh, sorry, got that.
Oh yeah. Okay. Can you drop that one for me?
Yeah.
I'll edit all this. Yeah.
Yeah. So they came out and hinted, I guess, that Warhammer Fantasy Battle could be meeting Age of Sigmar.
Yep. So it was, from memory, now I'm going off the top of my head, you'll be able to get a lot of the old models back. So Tomb Kings, a lot of those things that aren't in production anymore, they're going to produce them again. Going off on a tangent here, but the first thing I thought of is conversations, and you brought this up earlier, Greg, in prior conversations, that way back I said, if you've already got the miniatures there, why not have a book just for the rules? Simple as. It's not taking up any... You've already got the miniatures already taken up the shelf space. All you need is one book. Could this be something that gets incorporated where you literally could upscale Age of Sigmar into a larger game, and now you're not only just that, you're going to have miniatures that are essentially out of production, not only getting rules again,
I think
but the miniatures are back.
It's going to be answered there, okay? Will be the new home of rules for classic and fan favorite miniatures, while not intended for match play. They'll be great for anyone looking to forge. They'll be PDFs. It's not going to be books.
For sure, yeah, it's not going to be a book. It's not going to be a hardback book. It'll be online.
It'll be PDFs. Every time I say, here comes Dark Elves, here's a Dark Elf PDF. If you want to use your classic Dark Elf models in New Age of Sigmar, here are rules for that.
Totally agree with everything you've said.
I don't think it'll be the other way around. I don't think there'll be, here's rules for Age of Sigmar to be square-based.
So here's a question. You remember whenever they destroyed Warhammer Fantasy and they brought rules out for each of the factions for Fantasy back in the day? Are those PDFs still available?
No idea.
Because if they weren't...
And they'd be super out of date because we've had another edition of Age of Sigmar system.
And it's all point costed and stuff too now. So remember...
No, they've said match play. It's not for match play. So if it's not for match play, you don't use points. It's for narrative games only. So you would get away...
I reckon they'll bring out PDFs of rules for the old fantasy armies, updated for the current version of Age of Sigmar.
Well, I reckon they've used those old PDFs and just update those old PDFs.
Right.
Probably, yeah.
Can we? What I'm getting at, I totally agree with everything you guys are saying. I think that is the initial step. But it wasn't that long ago they killed Tomb Kings, for example.
Yeah.
That's it. Tomb Kings are dead. That was the end of it. No, it's not the end of it. So who's to say in another 6 months' time we're not going to get another one of these saying... Like, let's say Dark Elves do really well, and then the next month something else does really well. They go, how hard is it to produce a book that puts it all back into some perspective? Don't know. We wrote it off before.
Do you mean to put our current Age of Sigmar range into square-based rules?
I'm saying you take all the miniatures that you have and put them into a rule set that can be used in a separate thing. It's just one book to merge the lot.
That's a huge book, though.
They're doing it here.
I wouldn't say to do that. I think you would still have to buy the army book for, say, the Dark Sea Elves. So you buy the army book, and that gives you the rules for them. And then you download your PDF for your, say, old High Elves, and off you go and you have a matchup. And I've got my PDF, and you've got your glossy army book. And by the end of the night, I'll go, hey, you know what? I like your sexy army book. I'm going to go out and buy some Dark Sea Elves because they look sick.
What I'm suggesting is that you're not... See, this is talking about you playing Age of Sigmar with old stuff.
Yeah.
What I'm saying
but
is...
against each other. It's
pitting
it against Sigmar.
But you're playing Age of Sigmar.
I'm not sure.
You're playing the rules of Age of Sigmar with a PDF to make your old models work again, right? Mm-hmm. What I'm suggesting is you could bring out a book that transforms all your Age of Sigmar stuff into another format.
Yeah.
One book.
It's
it's literally the reverse of what they're doing. It's literally the reverse.
It'd be awesome for them to do that, but I can't imagine doing that.
I'm just throwing it out there.
Because that's the premier product, isn't it? It's their premier...
In a year's time, Christmas time, whatever, and they do, heard it here first.
Well, give G-Dub a big shout-out and say, come on, G-Dub, lay down the gauntlet. Van Saar, just been released to 2.
Cool sort of aesthetic.
Different.
It. Yeah. I don't get this, G-Dub's going Infinity vibe. You can't, just because a guy's got a visor, that doesn't make him Infinity.
Who said that? Some highbrow bloody Infinity player, right? Trying to get credit. Oh, G-Dub's stealing our shit, bro. I don't think so.
I think when it comes to dudes in armor plating from the future, it's very hard for them to you're going to draw parallels at some point because there's only so much you can do with the aesthetic. So it's inevitable.
Is there any rocks on the base?
No.
Oh, so they didn't copy
So
that.
clearly it's not a corvus.
Is there a skull?
The copyright lawyer's going, sorry. But yeah, no, I actually like that. Is it like Necron-looking tech that they've got?
Yeah, but they're not Necrons, man.
Obviously not Necrons, yeah.
I'm just putting that out there.
And I think I read some fluff saying that the tech that they're using is killing them or something like that.
Oh, right. So it's got like a nuclear sort of...
no idea.
Giving them cancer or something.
This is one of the things where you kind of flicking through, oh, that's interesting, but then you forget about it.
Yeah, okay.
Sort of thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
So they got some fluff on it.
There's a little bit of fluff there, but yeah.
G-dub, fluff.
Could be well off reservation here, but I think they look pretty cool. Not enough for me to buy them. Certainly not.
That's
better
not your
than my
faction.
Orlox.
That's not your thing, yeah.
Which, speaking of Orlox, I did find the PDF of the profiles for the box that comes out the 1,500 point game.
Yep.
So I'm happy now because I thought I'd have to go and find all the rules and cost them up. And, But yeah, I'm just going to build them straight out of the box in the recommended configuration. And
that's all I did.
Yeah, and if we get down the track and we want to do more adventure shit, I'll buy
another box. That's exactly what I did.
Yeah.
Because I find you just sit there procrastinating.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, do I put... and you just think, if I had just stuck the bits together, I'd be finished now.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. I'm looking at all these guns and these things, and I'm like, I don't know what they are.
Yeah,
so
just follow the numbers, man.
I'm swapping some heads around because some of the heads I don't like.
Oh, that's okay. That's just custom.
And I'm just going to write the names on the base so I know who's who.
You kind of need to with that because that was one of the negatives I found with that. But
I'll paint the line of sight arcs on, and I'll just
that's a good idea too.
That's what I do with my moderns.
Yep.
So like my modern soldiers, I know, or anyone looking at the model knows what they've got.
Because they can get a little with the round base a little bit confusing.
Yeah. So you know whether it's the F88 or the.
Do you guys have that in Infinity? You got markings on the...
Yeah, there's 9 fire markings on the bases.
Yeah, cool.
So, okay, that's them. We also have the new combat roster for 40k, armor building software that they're developing, coming out, which I thought was quite interesting.
Yeah, and I think we called this when they bought out Dark Imperium. We said they need an armor builder app.
Yeah.
But they've needed that for a long time.
Yeah.
For a long time.
And as useful as Battlescribe is, it's not the most user-friendly piece of kit.
Never used it.
But for a company like Games Workshop, where it is the one-stop shop of gaming, if you choose to buy into one of their themes, how could they're selling dice, they're selling you tape measures, they're selling you the paint, they sell you the miniatures, they got the rules.
Yeah.
What?
That's it. I want to open up my app. This is my list. I want to click on that guy. I want to see his rules. I want to see his weapons, and I want to see what they do.
Yeah.
Will that happen though, do you think? Because that's given their IP away. So we have to buy the roster, do you think? Or do you think
I think you'll need to buy
it rather than be free, like nearly every other company in the world. Just put that there.
Oh, wait.
Is Privateer's Press app free?
I have never ever used it. I've never played
Word's
Ocean.
app for Malifaux is not free. You have to pay to get the cards in the Malifaux app.
That's true.
It was only $10.
It was only $5 or $10. $10. Yeah.
It was worth it. Yeah.
Interesting. I didn't know it. There you go. You learn something new every day.
So I don't know, but I would pay $30 off the top of my head as a round figure to have all the Space Marine rules.
There you go, G-Dub. You've just heard the price point right there.
That'll be
all the young kids going, "What the hell are you talking about, Jacob? Shut up! My pocket money only get $10 a week.
Damn it,
save
$10
it up
a week.
for
They're not playing Games Workshop.
That's true. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I would pay for the convenience.
Yeah.
I have paid for the convenience before, and I would pay for convenience again.
It's the one-stop shop. Like it should.
Yeah.
Like that's one of the main go-tos. That's like it's one of the main reasons you go there.
Yeah.
You know, you can literally just live in that store at that point.
People do.
Yeah, I know.
There's always the same
the ones that are eating lunch.
troglodyte-looking dudes.
Yep. Painting all day.
No offense, G-Dub store.
So another big one that came out of Adepticon was that the Sisters of Battle are being redone in just like a year's time, 12
Muddi,
months' time.
I have gone back and checked the archives. We have an audio of a certain member of this podcast. Could be you, could be me, could be Greg, saying if they ever release Sisters of Battle in plastic, he would be all over it.
I'm pretty sure that's why I sent you that link.
Was I drunk?
You were recording the podcast, so yeah, probably.
Yep. So you're going to buy it or what?
Well, I will temper that with when we do
Oh, here we go.
when we do our 40k 1 year on. I'll be very interested to see how it plays again. I'll be taking keen interest, and hopefully it'll rekindle some fire in me. And then when the Sisters Battle be released, well, yeah, I'm confident that I like the system.
This goes nicely into the main topic, I think, because I think this is where it gets, you can have a main game and you can have these other ones on the side, which is your mates just hanging out, throwing some dice, eating chips, pizza.
Don't burn all your good banter.
But I'm just saying, this is the sort of game where this fits in nicely. So you need to sort your biz out and join the rest of us.
You still got to win, though, just like the Australian cricket team. You've still got to win. It's all about winning, isn't it?
I can tamper dice all day.
If gaming was all about winning, I would have jumped off something very tall a very long time ago.
That's true.
We've also got the retro land speeder that's Forge World's produced.
Yeah, that's cool. I
was blown away by that. I was like, what the hell? That's taking me back, that one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Back to Rogue Trader days. They've redone an old lead land speeder. So back in the day, they never had a front cockpit. It was just...
It wasn't a cabin. It was basically an engine with 2 seats on it.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, essentially. With a computer, with a guy tapping on a computer.
So they've redone it.
Yeah, they've redone that old lead model.
Yeah,
so
in resin.
The early 1990s, 90 or 91 maybe?
It'd probably be late 80s, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah, late 80s, 89 I
I'm
want.
trying to think of the date on it. But yeah.
So is the question that I always like
resin.
Is Greg going to buy it though?
I don't need to buy it. Bloody hell. I've got the old one. I don't need to buy it.
You do, because it's resin.
No, because it's metal. I've got the old one, and that's heavy. That's a heavy. If somebody broke into my house and I picked that up and threw it at their head, they're dead. They're like, I'm going to jail for killing the guy. It's that heavy.
That's what I said to Chad when we were talking about the Maggie G the other night when we played the game, and I said the best thing about it is you can just throw it at your opponent when he's beating you. You're like,
Kill
now who's unconscious?
Yeah.
That's not going to get you any sports points. Oh wait, is there sports points in ITS?
It doesn't need to be. It's a man's game.
Oh, okay,
Come on, let's move on. Next, we've got the Hellboy being released by Mantic.
Yeah, thoughts.
Bit of controversy on the miniature.
I
maybe,
like
Jacob?
it. It's now remember, it's okay. Let's give it. It's Mantic,
All right.
and it's a board game miniature.
I'll give you that concession.
Now,
But-
okay, let's
okay,
rate that.
so
rate
now-
that against don't rate it against G-Dub. I don't think that's a fair.
Why not? Why can't
Because-
I
no,
rate,
all right.
Why can't I rate a miniatures company against another
Yeah,
miniatures
okay,
company?
I totally agree.
Yeah.
They're going to lose. I am the first who would say that they're going to lose that one.
Yeah.
But you put that up against
Aristea.
Aristea's miniatures.
Same quality.
Yeah, I actually think it's better. It looks like a proper.
My issue with it
Model.
is you've got Hellboy, who is such... He's dripping with character.
Yep.
He is...
You thought it was a bit static.
like, okay, you
Yep.
look at the comics, look at the movies, look at the source material.
Yep.
You've got... He's holding his gun by his side and he's sneering as he's looking
Yeah,
to his side.
I think they've gone first miniature that they've dropped for it. There's a second one now. It's like some tentacle octopusy thing,
Yeah.
which I kind of like that one. I think they went safe.
I do too.
Yeah.
And see, that's the thing. I think these companies need to start
Stepping
taking
it up.
risks
Yeah.
so their miniatures stand out.
So I'm hoping that's the first that's been released for it.
At the very least, he needs a cigar. Come on.
Yeah. That's a good
Needs-
point.
Exactly what's missing.
I'm waiting to see if there's an alternative sculpt that comes out afterwards.
As a
what-
pre-order or a...
yeah, something like
Kickstarter
a
exclusive.
exclusive,
or something.
maybe?
Yeah, Kickstarter exclusive, whatever. But I'm waiting to see if something else comes out and what the third and the fourth and the fifth miniatures look like. But
Yeah.
as the first one that's come out, when it was all painted up, I was like, yeah, that's a tick in the box. It's a quality mini. It's got some size to it. Okay, does it hit it out the park like at say G-Dub level? No, but it's definitely not something I would sneer at.
Yeah. I think it's
better than Droopy Dick.
it's better than Droopy Dick. Yeah.
What do you,
for
I
sure.
don't understand what you're talking about.
Purchase one of our
Wild
Mild
Bill,
Bill
whatever his
t-shirts.
name is.
Mild Bill.
I still
The
don't.
one where his gun's bigger than
Yeah, I
his
don't get
body.
it. I don't get it.
Wider.
Because he's got droopy.
No, I don't get it. Because mine's fine. Mine sticks up.
Greg can get the Cowboys gun sticking straight.
That is so inappropriate.
It is.
Talking about a gun barrel. We're talking about a
He's
gun
hold-
barrel.
He's
Homoerotic.
he's doing
Yeah.
all these signals.
I'm holding the microphone.
And he's holding
in-
his mic
Very
suggestively.
suggestively.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah,
Anyway,
So again,
Yeah.
I'm hoping you're right.
Yeah.
I think a character like Hellboy, you gotta bring him to life because
Yep.
he's a character full of attitude. And this, as I said, I think I said to you the message was, he looks like someone else just stole the car park he was waiting for.
You are listening to Power Stance Gaming, and now, enjoy some more.
Definitely from the Adepticon.
Yeah.
The stuff that I took away from that, the only thing I was really listening to. Oh, yeah, thought just came to my head. Rumble Slam. I've already brought it up. A Gravedigger, badass sculpt. You've got the referee, cool as. But on top of that, massive exclusive came out with that. Expansions.
Boom.
As we said in the, we got the info from the interview.
From Jay and Lewis in the interview.
Yeah. And what did I say in that at the end? What I
You
said.
need to be able to hit people with chairs.
Guess what they're bringing out?
Cheers.
Furniture.
Furniture, yeah.
You can.
Well, remember we watched that.
There's a motorcycle you can actually throw.
Do you
at
remember we
your
watched that
opponents.
hour-long, what do you call it? That what was it? The Intercontinental fight. We call it wrestling match. We watched
Yeah.
it on YouTube.
Yeah, it was a chair fight. There was just thousands of chairs everywhere.
60-minute wrestle, and they were using everything. Remember, you even got the fireworks on the
Yeah,
set.
there's always sledgehammers under the stairs.
Absolutely, yep. He got
Some careless tradies, clearly.
I know.
leaving
Yeah. It's a
sledgehammers
Bunnings
there.
warehouse.
He got the
It's everywhere.
commentator's table and he smashed that over the dude's head.
Yeah. I just watched the other day. I watched the Undertaker throw Mankind off the cage, the top of the cage, and he onto the desk.
Yes.
Was he okay?
Only just.
Only
Freaking
just?
He's dead. You know how high that is?
Jacob, you're such a misbeliever, isn't he?
What a freaking
Such a
hurt.
misbeliever.
Can
Like
we
that's,
just
the
play
guy's like
Rumble
probably
Slam
close
and
to
leave
death.
it there?
And an old mate's over here going,
Can we just play Rumble Slam and leave it there?
He's a Hall of Famer.
still wrestling 50.
So anyway, that was the massive thing I took out of the Adepticon news.
Jacob,
Nice.
any other news?
No, man. I think we've covered all the cool stuff.
Awesome. I've got some more little snippets.
Okay.
So into
Here we go. Here comes the pony stuff.
the Kickstarter stuff. So did you know?
God.
Did
This
you
is just
know?
a treasure trove, isn't it?
Right, the Batman game, the Gotham City Chronicles. Do you know how much that finished up at?
Was it 4 million or something like that?
3.3 million.
Oh,
3.3. Yeah, I knew it
3.3
was-
million.
It was climbing up.
Yep.
I read somewhere they were expecting 4 million. So
That is insane. That's insane. Also, you've got
I wonder what Harry Potter's going to get then.
oh, it's not going to Kickstarter. Remember?
Oh, that's true.
Sick burn, bro. Sick burn.
next. We have Pacific. Interesting. We have the Pacific Rim Extinction.
Extinction,
game.
yeah,
that's
yeah.
currently up. That's that was funded by 387%. That made £175,000, which is what roughly double. So-
340, 350.
Yeah, three,
something
yeah,
like that.
something like that,
Yeah.
which is insane. Another great Kickstarter for those guys. So good on them.
Sorry, what company was putting that out? I
River
didn't see
Horse.
it. River, oh,
is what
right.
they're called,
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and we also have our local Aussie guys, Judgment. They've got Wave 2 currently up at the moment.
Yep.
And currently a few days into their campaign. So yeah, get onto it. They need our help and whatnot. So they're.
Did you guys get a copy of that?
I've got it at home.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have to play it. You have to crack it out. In the
Sounds
miniatures.
A review.
It definitely sounds like a review.
Yeah.
Once I get a second, some time to myself to do it, which is, yeah.
Too busy painting Infinity models.
Clearly.
Actually, no,
Yeah.
I'm not. But anyway, and then finally,
Oh,
one.
wouldn't
I
want to
did
be in the
actually-
drive home with
Too
you
busy
guys.
playing with yourself after Ireland win the Sixers or whatever the hell it is.
So good. I actually found one for you. I was actually.
Oh,
looking
did
for it.
you?
Yeah, yeah.
Did you?
It's called. It's up in just up in Kickstarter. It's called Good Dog. Bad Zombie. You take control.
Hang on.
You take control of a pack of dogs. So you play with your mates, and you become obviously a dog, and you fight zombies. So hence Good Dog, Bad Zombie.
Do you know what?
That's a dead set. That's an international bestseller right there, listeners.
I hear these things and I think, why don't I take my game to Kickstarter? Because is it funded? Are people backing it?
I'm not sure. I didn't.
It
I
depen-
write that.
like,
I
let's
didn't
be
write that
let's be
note
fair
down.
here. Like it depends on how much they actually require to
Now here's an interesting
fund
thought.
it.
I actually was reading on the Tabletop Gamers Australia website, and we're talking about Kickstarter, and one chap was talking about taking his products to Kickstarter and whatnot, and I wouldn't say it bemoaned Kickstarter, but essentially they were saying it's only for big companies now. They were saying they actually need another version of Kickstarter for proper indie developers,
startups,
proper startups.
Yeah.
Like, it's gotten to be so much of a joke now. Like, I actually wrote this down where, come on, they're coming out with Zombicide Invader.
Yeah.
And somebody's taking the piss where if you look at the front cover of Zombicide Invader and somebody put a White Dwarf cover, or was it cover of a G-Dub game? And it was a spitting image. You know, you had Gen Stealers on Space Marines, and in this one you've got zombie aliens, essentially, against power-armored dudes. And somebody from the 40k world was saying, how can they do this? And sort of thought, well, it's generic power armor. How can you not do it? But it comes a point where a company like Come On, who's had multiple successful, successes, and they're still using Kickstarter. And it's like, little guys.
But people keep
works.
backing it.
Well, that's
as
the problem.
long as
That's the
money's
problem.
there.
But then people like little guys, little indie guys.
Like
Okay.
good dog, bad zombie.
Bad zombie.
That's who's missing out.
Well, people are back to
Well,
it.
it's me. If I go to put my game on Kickstarter, I'm going to miss out.
Look,
I don't have the
no
marketing power of that.
disrespect, but
All right, so
I don't.
but we know the real reason for this. How much did Kickstarter take? 7% or something like that? 7% of
Yes,
4 million is a lot of money.
Yep.
They're not going to stop doing it.
Well, not only that, but look at Judgment. They're trying to do the Wave 2. Now, currently they're at over halfway with over 3 weeks to go, so they're cruising along. So, are they going to make it? I hope they are. Like, we can keep track of them with the next podcast. Fingers crossed they make it. But interestingly, on this, on the Facebook page, they were saying they nicknamed it Funded One Day. Essentially, if you're not funded in one day, game over. Now, I hope that's not the case with Judgment. So, but they were saying in general, if you're not a big company where you've got all these resources behind you and all that sort of stuff, and it looks a polished product, and you get your video up, and everything that these people expect from a multi-million-dollar company, if you don't have that, you're gone. You don't even bother going to
Because
Kickstarter.
Kickstarter's not for supporting developers anymore. It's a
No.
pre-order system.
That's exactly right.
It's a pre-order system so they know how many units they need to ship in the first month.
So what this
And they even do that because they sell to their retailers through Kickstarter.
Yep. So what Facebook was saying was we need to get a bunch of venture capitalists together in the world that will start backing indie developers again, move away from Kickstarter, start another platform.
I'm just going to be the devil's advocate here, but I don't. Every time you come in with one of your there's so many Kickstarters. A lot of them just don't. I don't think anyone would.
Yeah, but I'm not saying that every Kickstarter that comes up like good dog, bad zombie. You're getting
That's-
lots of
that's
press tonight. Go
serious.
check out the Kickstarter. Like if we're not saying it's a great idea, but what we're saying it's someone with an idea who's trying to bring a new product to market.
Yeah.
This isn't the 7th version of Zombicide.
Correct. Yep.
And
Yeah,
Kickstarter. It's to kickstart a project.
Not fill the coffers of some multi-million-dollar corporation,
are.
and regardless of what you say,
They are kickstarting the project by getting
Yeah, but
people
but
to
they
back
have
it.
got they've got
Zombicide
funds.
versions 1 to 6 would be
Yeah,
enough
I
of a
know.
Kickstarter.
I totally
I
agree.
would like to see their bank accounts really and see what car they're driving because
So,
I'm
but
sure
that's-
they can afford
that's
to fund
not-
to fund it.
Hey,
Yeah.
capitalism.
It is and isn't though. Like you're taking away from the little guy who's trying to
That's capitalism.
to try and get to there.
I know, me and Bernie Sanders, we chat about this all the time.
Let's not go there.
Yeah, but I don't. Was that Kickstarter's intent though when they first started up?
Not at all.
Probably not. But now they're on a gravy train and they're riding it because they've got these big companies that are doing it. Like Game of Thrones did it. Whoever I can't remember the company
It was
manufactured.
Come On.
Come on, there you go. Come on, and the Mighty Robots game with WetaWorks.
WetaWorks.
That was over $1 million.
Yep.
Like they're going to keep doing it. So maybe you heard it here first, listeners. Maybe PSG needs to bring our own indie developing stroke Kickstarter, but not Kickstarter. Kickstarter-ish.
Midget Kickstarter.
I almost want to do
racist.
an episode where we just talk to a bunch of indie developers and get their thoughts on the matter. That could be really interesting.
I think it's
Maybe as a special, not as an episode, but like
I think it's a very interesting topic. I don't know what the answer is. I just thought all of a sudden
as someone that wants to publish a game in the very near future.
Which is the better? Well, what does your Facebook link? What's the general consensus on there?
venture capitalists move away from Kickstarter.
Kickstarters, yeah, no good.
And also, you don't understand, like, there's so much time and effort that goes in pre-Kickstarter. You just don't rock up and just go, here we go, we'll just do Kickstarter tomorrow. There's so much time and effort.
Oh, it's a lot of time, work, and effort. But like, I'm playing devil's advocate. I can see what it's for. But I don't think. I think if you take those companies off where people really want those games off the Kickstarter, I hate to tell you this, the consumers will leave too. So it's not like you're going to have this massive pool of people there to put. Oh, we're not going to give it to these guys. We're going to give it to the little guys anymore. No, that's not the way the world works. They leave, and they take their money with them. So you can't. My thing is, you can't necessarily blame these big guys, because the big guys are going to get that money anyway.
My point is, it's not necessarily. I guess it's a double-edged sword. The big companies are cruising in with, and they're cashed up, man. Like they're throwing their resources behind it, so they've got a finished product, like 110% finished, with all the stretch goals that they need behind it, because they can invest.
I agree.
So they can do all that. So it puts the little guy, as a little guy, you've got to match that.
But
so you've got to fund it 100%. Just to put as much front end funding in as the big guy.
But
how is that fair?
It's not. The world is not fair.
I'm not saying it is.
It's never going to be.
I don't think that Kickstarter should be used as in my opinion. I don't believe Kickstarter should be used as that.
So, if you take the big companies out of the Kickstarter, you're supposing that means you're still going to have all these people still here to put your money back still in Kickstarter.
No, it's not.
Those people.
No, it's
I disagree. I don't think Greg's saying that at all. I think Greg's saying that the little guys don't have an opportunity to show their colours.
Correct. Like what I can do is I can water down my product, so I don't have to have a video. I don't have to have like fancy, amazing artwork. It can be a bit rough around the edges, because I can say to my backers, hey, with your money, I will use that money to get an artist to do that. But you know what? I've seen people say that, and they don't make it. Now, no matter how good their product is, they're actually using the funds to help it get to market, but they don't have the polished product, and they don't get up because of that reason.
Okay, so let me just hop in again. I know what you're trying to say, but I don't think you're quite grasping this. What I'm trying to say. I am saying that the big guys are actually bringing customers to Kickstarter, who are then able to see the smaller companies and support them if they wish to. Okay, it's actually the big guys are actually bringing clients.
Because you're saying you take the big guys out, they go away, people don't get stuff funded.
Look,
the big guys there.
Okay,
they
so
get funded, so
give
there's
me.
no point changing it.
No, I'm saying give me a solution that will fix it. So far, all I'm hearing is that the big guys shouldn't be there. I'm saying.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying we'll start up a different system with
Where the big guys aren't allowed.
Well, I don't
No,
know.
I'm asking questions.
Why
I'm
can't
asking
you
possibly
have a platform for people starting?
Yeah.
Like,
Go
this
for
is
it.
what Kickstarter is.
Go for it.
Yeah,
No, go for it.
Kickstarter.
I'm what I'm
Okay,
saying.
so-
It's not a level playing field. You're
so-
never going to get a level playing field. You're not going to have as many players to look at the
But it
said
doesn't
level
matter.
playing
It doesn't
field
matter if there's
because
as many
they're all
players,
over here.
Because I can't even get a look in percent.
Well, let's use some actual evidence that just occurred. You just brought up a game I don't get on Kickstarter. Greg likes to hop on there. I'm assuming a lot of people that like to get on Kickstarter like to have a little browse.
Actually, no, that came from a news feed. I didn't jump on
So
Kickstarter.
there is a level playing field in that there's a news feed that exposes you to smaller things. So there you go. There's the level playing field. An attempt.
But I
of a
don't
level
know.
playing field.
The news feed only picks, like, it doesn't give me all of Kickstarter projects. There's 15,000 projects on
So
Kickstarter, so it doesn't give me. I don't.
So there's
every
there's,
single
there's
one.
two.
It'd be random.
So not only. So here's the problem with Kickstarter. Then you just nailed it to me. To me, this is the problem. There's an oversaturation at this point. You just said how many? 15,000.
Oh no, that's everything. Like Kickstarter covers everything, like technology, music, like
So
the whole
on
gambit.
your news feed, you get sent the cool ones, do you, for the Kickstarter?
Yeah.
And you just one of the ones that
pick,
came up
yeah.
on your feed of the best picks was
The random ones, yeah.
the random
Check
pony
it out.
ones that you send me, the sexual
Don't know what you're talking about.
foreplay one,
Yeah.
and so far this zombie dog thing.
Good dog, bad zombie.
That's the top picks.
Please get it right.
Of the independent
Now, this is Greg
Kickstarters.
trawling through shit to find.
You know what I
funny
mean?
stuff
Like
yeah. I get what you mean, and I know I'm going to sound like a dirty socialist here when I say this, but like if it's a platform for people to launch, people that have launched shouldn't be on that platform.
I totally agree. So what I'm saying is, by taking them off won't fix it.
You can't fix it, but like saying that's not going to fix anything.
No.
There needs to be a platform for people that are trying.
What I'm trying to argue is it possible that this is as bad as it sounds? This is the best system possibly that these smaller companies actually get by having the big companies in there with them, bringing them more people to the site at least to browse.
As Greg and I've been saying all along, you say that's the theory, and this is trickle-down economics, basically. But we know for a fact that it doesn't work because we are in a community of designers who are literally giving the advice, don't do Kickstarter because you can't compete against the big guys.
Well, I'd like to see him open up a separate one, and I don't think it'll give him much more success. Because like I said, in all walks of life, a lot goes to a very small few, and it doesn't matter what system gets put in place. It always happens. It's cosmic law.
But then
even the stars work in a similar fashion.
Taking that point, if you turn around and said to the indie developers, okay, so some rules around kickstarting, and said, right, what is your turnover? Ask the turnover of a company, and if the turnover of the company would have to be under, I don't know, 100,000 for them to be able to kickstart, because that's the definition of an indie. Because you've got no income coming into business. All it is outgoings in R&D.
We're agreeing.
As a point.
No. We. The funny thing is, like, I know we're having this discussion. We agree. We're actually agreeing, but what we're not agreeing on is what the ramifications are by making these changes and policies.
Yeah, rules and regulations.
I'm saying it's not necessarily going to be a positive for the small guy. You guys are more saying, oh no, it should work. I'm a lot more skeptical because I can see that there's a general rule.
It should work. I'm just saying I don't think it's right how it operates.
No, and I agree. I don't think, but that's that. I know we're always trying to improve and fix something.
You go, so I'm okay,
No, I'm not.
Me or not, send me an email, back me on Kickstarter, pre-order here. I click their link, I go to their page. At any stage do I go, oh fuck, let's just do a random search for Wargames, see what's up? Or do I have the tweet that comes through from Kickstarter every couple of days? It says new in Wargames in Kickstarter, and I can browse through there and go, oh, this looks good. Without having to be bombarded by the big monies and the.
But also, I would say when you do go to the Kickstarter website and you do go to the games, the miniature games or games component, the big guys are at the top.
Of course they are.
And the little guys.
Of course they are.
So
of course.
If you want anything at all, you got to go to the back end of it.
But just
as a point.
Yeah.
So I'm wrong. It's not 15,000 projects, but under games, like as a network.
You got a number. Yeah.
Yeah. As a games network, they've got 536 projects at the moment under games, but that's everything from mobile games like apps.
Oh, apps.
Yeah. To video games, gaming hardware even. So the tabletop games is a small.
It'd be a small fraction.
Yeah. Yeah.
5-10%.
It doesn't give me an actual number, but it's 536 for. But I actually was right. There's actually 15,000 projects in total on Kickstarter.
Yeah.
So,
but that's everything you said, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Either that or it's 15,000 projects under tabletop games, but they were closed, so they're not current.
Yep. Oh, look, maybe we'll have to do a Kickstarter episode because obviously this is something we probably need to divulge a little deeper into.
It's massive. It's a massive topic.
I'm not big on Kickstarter because I'm honest. I don't genuinely see anything on there that I'm actually interested in. I'm one of those guys that the big guys bring me to the site and I get exposed to other games via being dragged there from a larger entity.
That's it for me, folks.
Cool. Wow, that was
That went
unexpected.
It spiraled. Yeah. Hey, well, I hope you're still with us. So that's the news there. All right, let's.
How the hell was that news?
It started as news.
Good dog, bad zombie, mate. You got to get onto it.
See, that's me shutting down your whole Kickstarter section.
Yeah. All right, I think we might jump straight into a brief cast update.
Oh,
fucking hell.
So, Good Dog, Bad Zombie, just while we're at it, its target was 45,000 and it made 92,000.
So what? The little guys are what? Having issues, are they?
People obviously love good dogs. Simple as that. Good dog is.
So you want to put a rebuttal? You want to like
Who says
change your comments?
I don't know who produced
here
this.
at
It
all?
might not be a little guy. It's by make big things.
Yeah,
No idea.
it sounds like a big guy. That's oh, is that Mantic or Come On or freaking Batman game? No,
Well, clearly, everyone that went there for the
no. What I'm saying
zombie
is,
side, it trickled down. Yeah, of that 3.3 million, that's obviously that 1% has come through.
Hang on, I'll throw good dog, bad dog, and a quick $50.
Yeah, why not?
Why
I've already
not?
shopped 700 on zombie side.
possibly it has helped. Possibly,
Yeah,
I would look. How else would they get exposed to it?
because what they've had to do is have an aggressive social media marketing campaign with a polished product.
So then you don't need a Kickstarter at all.
You do as a pre-order.
Because they had to drop 50 grand on this project, or 45 grand most likely. The
But they-
Kickstarter
but they-
would be breaking
In
in.
fact, I would say they
they
wouldn't even break
campaigned
even.
Probably wouldn't even break
They
even.
campaigned aggressively on social media with free advertising. So realistically, that all
But
Kickstarter
see,
did
again,
was cost
you're
them money.
missing the point. What we're saying is this is a platform for developers to kickstart. They've had to go to this with a finished product.
Oh, so Kickstarter's for work in progress.
It's
Yes,
supposed to be.
it's to
yeah.
fund projects in progress.
It's for exactly right.
Kickstarting.
Oh, it's like I haven't got a plan 100% sorted out yet.
This is
Exactly.
my idea. Can I get some
right.
capital to work through stuff?
I thought, see, Kickstarter to me still means I've got an idea. This is how much I think it's going to cost. Here's the idea. Here's something. Do you like it? Not. I wrote some notes.
Yeah, all right. I think we're just gonna move on. All right, let's get into a cast update.
Time for a cast update.
All right, so very quick cast update. First of all, we need to announce the winner of the Toha Army giveaway competition. Congratulations, Tim Hall, with your. And I mentioned this in the PM that I sent it to. Retarded.
I didn't even know what this
Entry.
ad was.
With Tim's face on what's her name, Jenna's body.
I didn't know what
offering an
any of
artichoke
this
to police
meant.
officer.
Neither
And
did I.
I told Muddi it's come
Yeah.
from the Pepsi ad where she offers the cop a Pepsi to stop a race riot.
Never seen it.
And Muddy's like, "Is this a real thing?" I'm like, "Yes."
And I,
It's
what was
a
it?
real
What was it?
thing.
When I wrote? Did Pepsi cop some shit for this or
Yes, they
what?
did.
And I went, good.
Can we just say, when we said Tim Hall, can we do a round of applause? Like, can we get like, a big cheer in the background, maybe?
Yep, go for it. Deliver it now.
No, I was going to say, maybe just get off YouTube.
Oh, some more work.
So Greg's editing this episode. Congratulations, Greg.
No idea what you're talking about.
Congratulations.
No
I'll see
idea
what
what
I can
you're
do.
You're gonna have to edit. You're gonna have to edit the whole
Just-
Kickstarter.
Just want to say, you do realize that my computer is a 2007 computer and it works like on a Windows 7 thing.
All I'm hearing
In
is
fact,
excuses.
It's so outdated that the internet barely works on it.
Yep.
Oh, is that why you can't get a Twitter app on your phone?
That's why I so angry all the time. He has to wait 40 minutes for the porn to download. He's, come on!
Don't know what you're talking about.
Damn you, 28K modem.
Well done, Tim.
Yeah, congrats, buddy.
Congrats. So that was that.
So,
Can I-
are you going to wrap them up like nicely for him? Like, are you going to like?
I took them to
roll
CanCon in a sandwich bag. They're going to Tim in a sandwich bag, all right?
Oh, surely not.
Quality.
Surely not. Those poor metal miniatures.
No, I'm actually. He posted something. Was it last week in some incredible painting he did?
Yeah,
So,
he's a stellar painter, Tim.
I'm embarrassed actually to send it to him.
Just start stripping them
I
now.
was going to say, do you want to put them in some green stuff?
I'll give him a Bunnings voucher to buy some simple green.
Yeah, simply green. That's it.
So that's that. Congratulations. Thanks for that. As we mentioned earlier, we've got the poll for our 200 episode celebration. Get on that. And we've mentioned it a few times, and we probably will again.
The shop.
The shop. If you have
So
ideas,
what shop are we talking about? Can I buy stuff? Can I buy PSG,
You can buy PSG
merchandise?
merch,
You
yeah.
are kidding me.
yeah,
Is it quality?
damn straight.
Apparently.
Has it got our logo on it?
Some of
Some
it.
of that.
I do want to do a shout out to Sean Houston the other day. Who come up with the Eat, Sleep, Crit, Repeat t-shirt.
Hashtag non-infinity podcast.
That's it. So but I thought that was quite clever, and I was more than happy to jump on and design one for him. So you better buy it now. Just saying.
These government employees.
I did it at home.
Without his printer.
So that's pretty much it. You guys got any cast news in particular? We are planning a big event for later in the year.
Are we? I know, we can tell. Are
Yeah.
we?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Do you want to tell us more?
Not yet.
Do we need a
You can't.
passport?
That's a very good question.
No. Yeah. No. So we'll keep. I just want our listeners to know that we have got fingers in pies and things happening. And
Hopefully not my pies.
now, I think we need to get into a listener question.
Time for a listener question.
Oh, I've got a listener question too.
Well, let's do yours.
Yeah, what do you got? Oh, is this to anyone in particular, or
Just weird.
is this Infinity related?
Just hang on a second.
So
What do
listener
you
question.
think is AROs?
Listener question. I'm just got to shout it. Greg has come to the cast with a listener question. This is
Yeah, so
It's
it's from
reading me out.
our mate David Triquette, also known as DT.
DT.
Oh, here we go.
So-
DT has a listener question.
Yeah, he has. He said, you guys. So he says,
Hi.
first of all, hello, and then he says,
Hi, DT.
yeah, you guys should do a fundraiser where people beat or on how long until Jacob places in a tournament. In fact, not beat, bet. He sent that through.
Can you read that again?
so-
Yeah, in English.
'Cause it's got-
Por favor.
Yeah. So I'll start that again.
Good plan.
Okay, so
I'll edit it. Don't worry.
So DT writes it. No, you won't. I'm just looking at you now, and the way you're laughing. All right. So DT writes in, you guys should do a fundraiser where people bet on how long until Jacob places in a tournament.
Places.
Places.
Yeah, and then he further
What
adds.
happens if he doesn't place ever?
Then he further adds, which will come first? I've just lost my photograph.
Oh.
It is awesome. Okay, which will come first?
I'm so
It's a fucking text message.
It's on my phone. So. Oh, yes, the tombstone.
All right.
Okay, so first, which will come first?
fucking train wreck.
This is why we don't let him do things. Just the news.
Make me laugh, all right.
Yeah.
Right, which will come first? Number one.
Can you get Alexis to read that shit?
Here, you read it out. No, it's my fucking question.
All right, you do it. Come on.
So, which will come first?
Come on,
Jacob places in a tournament, right? Greg wins a tournament.
Yep.
Dave attends a YPU
Why PU?
tournament.
A what?
I don't know.
A YPU?
Yeah. So he said,
You,
thought it would make sense to you. That might be like a...
YPU.
you sure it's not Dave attends a
Maybe
tournament?
that's what it is. But it,
DT, can you please fix this? We got the Irishman here, and David attends a tournament, maybe.
we'll go with that.
YPU? What the hell? It's got to be. Yeah.
It's got to be a tournament.
Yep. I'm not a tournament doer.
So,
Good fundraiser.
so the bet is what comes first. I place, you win, or Muddy just goes to one.
Yeah.
I just rock up at BrizCon and
Be shit.
that's all right.
I think doing a pool on when I place in a tournament could be interesting.
But that could go forever.
That could go forever.
Not unless you team up with JT.
Does doubles count?
No.
We might need to set some ground rules.
No.
around this.
No.
DT?
No.
Flick us a PM, bro. I'm intrigued, and I want to know.
Send it to Greg
I wanna
so
know
he
more.
can read it out
No,
again.
for the love of all that is
Are
holy.
you kidding me? Look at the first one, and he puts bet at the end. Like, I mean, when you do a typo, that's fair enough. But beat? Come on.
Yeah.
How hard is
I
it?
think he meant where people beat off.
Yeah, I was going to say, obviously, because it autocorrects the word you use the most. So obviously in DT's phone, he obviously uses the word beats a
Oh,
lot.
Wally,
As in beats off.
while we're talking DT, congrats, buddy, on your ninth selection for ETC.
Oh, again. No surprises, really. Were there?
They've released the team today. I
Yeah,
believe.
cool.
Congratulations. Good to see that a friend of the cast is actually achieving things in life.
Yeah.
In the gaming life.
Tombstone was pretty good.
That's
Tombstone results.
that sounded aggressive. It was not intended to be aggressive.
We need to video these casts.
All right,
so people
so
can
you
see your
good?
tombstone.
So are
That's right.
we good with your questions all wrapped up now?
That's it, pretty much.
All right, great. So I
We
have,
get
an,
a real question.
I have an
now.
actual question. This one come from an.
Did you slip
weirdly-
something in my drink?
Yeah.
You are a spastic kid.
You're gonna have to crash here tonight. In the studio.
Oh, I've got to take the kids to school.
This one came through in our as a direct message to our Facebook page. Paul, what is our favourite part of the hobby? So I'm going to throw to you first, Greg. What is your favourite part of the wargaming hobby? I like these ones because, like our listeners, they want to know a little bit more about us and get to know us on a level that's not just banter.
Man, that's such a tough one.
AROs.
I wish you'd sent me that beforehand so I could have a good think on it.
Yeah, but see, that's kind of the point.
That's such a
Mine's
tough one.
AROs.
He's not. You drunk Australian bearded. That's such a tough one because straight away my mind's brought to painting and modelling, and I guess I've sort of touched on this before, the strategic nature of gaming. But I think it's got and I do really enjoy that. That really gets me going. But I guess it's got to come down to the people. You know, meeting new people. And now when I go to a tournament, I'm really looking forward to who I'm going to play against because I don't really care now if it's going to be someone new or someone, you know, like an old mate, essentially. So, because I know it's going to be fun. I guess I'm going with the right attitude as opposed to trying to always win, which was my previous attitude back in the fantasy days.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably the best part of the hobby for me. I think meeting new people. That's
So
cool.
your
Or meeting
favourite
people.
part of the hobby is meeting new people at tournaments?
No, meeting people. And
Oh, okay,
like
cool.
the game, you know, unless you're playing Zombicide and you're playing against yourself, which is heaps of fun, unless you're doing that, you're playing against opponents, either in a two-way game or a multiplayer game. Either or, you're playing against another person or people, and that's the crux of the game right there. Otherwise, you're just playing with yourself,
Yeah, fair enough.
Like masturbation.
having a masturbate, maybe, but by yourself.
Shout out to the Solo Gamers Association of Australia Facebook page
There's nothing wrong with it whatsoever.
and the number of listeners that join us from that site, which is 0. Now, Muddi, what's your favourite aspects of the hobby?
All right,
wargaming?
I'm going to go two.
You can't go 2 because I would have gone 2.
Who the frick do you think you
Well,
are
I'm gonna
telling
go
me I
2 now.
can't go
If
two?
you're going to go 2,
What's your second then?
Strategy, the strategic element.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, both boring. Okay, so mine is the collecting. I like the collecting.
Yeah. That's
I think we
great
talked
one.
before where we were talking about trying to fill out, you know, get all the bits and pieces, you know.
Smashing that credit
I
card.
like that. Yep, smashing the credit card. And socialising.
If you've got your credit card out, head to our shop, the Facebook page.
Fuck, they are. Yeah, no, it's the collecting and the socialising.
Socializing is awesome.
And it doesn't have to be a tournament to socialise. And I'll make that stipulation as DT can. I'm assuming from the text that he sent. I don't like
Who
going
knows
to all
what
the tournaments.
Who knows really what he sent?
Yeah,
what he said.
exactly. Just hanging out, doing this, and collecting. I like the collecting.
Hang on, are you talking about the time whenever you hook up online and smash little kids at Warhammer?
Hang on. Just step back from that. Muddy's hooking up and smashing little kids online.
Yeah, it didn't sound very good.
Him are hooking up online, smashing little kids.
It's not getting better. Dig up, Greg.
What's that computer game? Total War, Warhammer, whatever.
Total
okay, there you
War.
you do that. You do that, don't you?
Yeah. Well, we haven't done that for a while.
You heard it here first.
Yeah.
It could have been 650. It could have been the Undertaker. We could have been beating the Undertaker.
No, he wouldn't play that. He'd be
Yeah,
there
he would.
working out or like
Nah,
playing
he
that,
would.
that 1980s that computer game. Remember
can't
the one
work-
you sent through?
Yeah, but you can't work out all day. He
No, but
needs
he's
his
there-
rest.
He's there playing that computer game, and his
Nah.
Undertaker dude's going doing
Nah.
a hand move.
No,
Come here.
because he'd be playing Total War. He would.
No, he wouldn't. Undead. No, he wouldn't.
He'd be on fucking dialysis. If he's not working, he is on dialysis.
Probably.
I'm sorry.
What about you, Jacob?
Me, I'm going to buck the trend here. And I'm going to say my favourite part of the wargaming hobby is creating.
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 Are you,
I love...
Are you going to go 2 or just 1?
Just one. Because I only have one favorite part. Just like I only have one favorite kid. Come on, get with it.
This this stays online forever, you know. Like your kids.
In all seriousness, no, it's it's a creation. My favorite, the most satisfying, rewarding part of this hobby for me is if I can write a scenario and have two people play it out and enjoy it and love it, and it's fantastic. Or I can write a session for RP and we can sit around the table and other people can play through my world that I've created and it becomes something that's a shared thing. And that creation there, or, you know, working on rules for ABC, seeing, you know, getting that feedback, oh man, I love this works, and the little part of me inside goes, that was my idea. You know what I mean? Like, those little things, to me, are a huge part of the game. So, socializing is great, collecting is great, being strategic and being competitive all have their place in the hobby. For me, it's when I can create something and share it and people love it. That's the best for me.
Yeah, nice. Awesome.
Our last segment, which is a little bit of a random banter.
Ooh.
Have we got a thing for that?
Yeah.
He's got no idea.
Time for some random banter. It's open mic.
Alright, so tonight's random banter, and ironically we know that the last 2 hours of podcast has just been random banter generally. But I've got a little bit of a bugbear. And I want to talk about this, and I want you guys
It's
to
going to
talk
get
about this.
feisty now.
Might get feisty, okay?
Okay.
My feistiness... okay, feist is probably a bit strong.
I'll tell you what. Do you want to lay down on the couch and Muddi and me will sit
I do.
beside
Oh, thank you. Here. Hand me that cushion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to lay down? Okay. Close your eyes and off you go, Jacob.
All right.
What's your beef?
Well, Father... oh, hang on.
How's that song?
Take a load of Jacob. I had a couple of discussions in more than one gaming circle that I'm currently in at the moment. And I was chatting to a few people and saying, hey, this is really cool. Maybe we should try this. Maybe it was Rumble Slam saying this would be really good. I'd love to. And more than one person has come back to me and said, you know what, I could, but I really just focus on one game. And to me, my brain just at that point goes, like, what the hell? We're wargamers.
That was Jacob's brain exploding, by the way,
Yeah.
listeners.
We're wargamers. It's not like, and okay, Muddi, you aside, but you don't just open the fridge every night and go, steak's good.
I think it's kangaroo, actually, but yeah.
Muddi's like, yeah, fucking kangaroo. Yeah,
kangaroo.
We'll have some kangaroo.
Again?
No.
Some steak.
7 days in a row? Yes.
Kangaroo, steak, chicken.
Oh, okay.
There's three.
So you mix it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But every now and again, you know, you do mix it up. So
I had mince today. So
cool.
mince.
That's fine dining. That's,
Yeah.
that's some mince.
Yeah, it was Taco Tuesday.
Oh man, I'm got to cook you brisket sometime. Holy.
Oh,
Jesus. Anyway, long story short, what I'm trying to say is, to me, I can't even comprehend the idea of when someone goes, "I've got a really great game." Your response is, "Yeah, no, I'm kind of really just focusing on this one at the moment." You know what I mean? Like, I guess it's that one system dilemma that we've got to come across, and I think it goes hand in hand with the oversaturation of the market at the moment, where there's so many things. And it's like saying there's so many things, so I'm only going to play one. Or do you go, yeah. So I guess in roundabout terms, what I'm trying to say is, like, how do you consider yourself one system players? And if you don't, like, how do you feel about people who go, see, I've got to concentrate on this because, you know, the last thing you want to do is have to learn all the rules to master something else when, you know, you can just play games and have fun, right?
Do you want to go first?
Not if you're Australian.
We won, right?
Apparently.
Yeah.
He's
Actually, not winning South Africa at the moment. You're losing. But anyway, that's besides the point, even with cheating. But anyway, moving on.
That's
old,
good.
Old news. Old
That's
news.
good. The
Old news.
universe worked.
corrects itself, yeah.
Yeah.
Old news. Off you go.
No, I'm not a one-man system. I like to have fun in my said game.
What? You like to have fun?
Hence why DT's sending things, I'm assuming, about me not necessarily going to tournaments. I prefer to just play games and have fun. I don't get super competitive with them. I don't know all the ins and outs of the tricks and of the trade of whatever system it is, because I just like to have a light-hearted game, which used to imply fun. This one system thing, I don't really encounter, I think, many people of that sort of ilk, because, well, they're generally playing systems that I'm probably not really spending a lot of time on, if I'm honest. Is there an oversaturation? Yep. I think it's a massive problem. We just had a discussion about Kickstarter. I think it's a problem for all games at the moment. We had a discussion previously about the golden age. If golden age is measured in saturation, then hell yeah, it's a golden age. But I don't think it's necessarily a better age for that. To just sit there and play one system, I can understand it. I do get it. You want to be good at it, and maybe like take DT for example. And it's not a derogatory thing about DT. But if he wants to be good at something, he has to put a lot of time and effort into that. Hat off to you. I've got other things going on.
Do you think there's a prevailing attitude with wargamers to go, if I can't go in there and smash, what's the point of me going in there?
I don't know, because
or at least if I can't go in there and have a reasonable chance of winning.
No, I think...
Can I just, before I lose this thought, because I know it's going to happen. I wonder if, like the tournament scene is a small scene, but they make a lot of noise. I wonder if sometimes we kind of get taken by that, thinking that's what gamers are all like. And I think there's a lot of people that do just play at home, play in the shed, play with their friends, and they're more inclined to probably play a few different systems. Now, whether they're playing 5 systems, 10 systems, a bunch of board games in between, it's obviously completely random at that point. But I don't think it's a huge thing that most people are a one game system type person. I think it's just we get that feeling because tournament people are, by and large, a vocal minority of the scene. You guys got any comments to that, or?
Well, I think it's whenever you ask a question like that, I think it's hard to analyze it to a certain extent, because if you think about it, you don't know where they're coming from. So they might be coming from a game, their one system might be a game where you've got to buy a book, you've got to buy an army, you've got to buy expansions, you've got to buy terrain, maybe a mat. That's a big investment. And they might be going with that mindset of, well, if you want me to play a second system or a third system, I've got to buy that all again without, they're blanketed. They're a bit sort of tunnel vision about it, because that's only what they know. That's my only point to that. But I also just want to throw it back to you, Mr. Muddi.
Ooh. And
you said it's oversaturation. And I'm like,
yeah.
I just wrote a point down here, and I'm sort of challenged that by, well, is it? Or is it not the market's growing? Like, I'm looking at it more in a positive way and going, well, with the transfer between board games and war games becoming more blurred, have we got... Is the market growing to the point where we get more players in?
No, I don't know. Possibly there could be more people, but what I'm finding, and I'm seeing this on a lot of different chats, is that people are finding it hard to get regular opponents of a particular system because everyone is constantly flipping to the next system. So, for example, you got Legion coming out. You've got the X-Wing, the new ships. Like, people are constantly bouncing around between whatever new shininess comes out. Now, that gets expensive. And so for some people who may only want to play, 5 systems or something, you've got this pocket of people going all over the place, jumping on all these different systems. And then you'll have another group of people that are literally, let's say the tournament scene, right? Where they're just playing Infinity. That's all they're playing. And I find there's a massive disconnect between some of the groups in trying to get a regular game other than ITS. I'm just using Infinity as an example. ITS, we're going to play Infinity, we're going to play the ITS system.
If you come to me and sent me a text saying, hey, Legion arrived today, do you want to come around and play it?
Yep.
I'm not going to say, nah, it's not my main system. I don't want to have to learn a bunch of new rules and a whole bunch of new strategy in order to be competitive in that thing.
Yep.
I'd go, shit, yeah, new game, let's check it out.
Yep. Of course. Well, that's what we do. But the tournament guys, well, they've got their system that they're trying to be good at. They don't have time for that.
Being such a diverse, I suppose, hobby, which is what it is, I think, you're gonna get polar ends of the spectrum. You're gonna get a niche. Maybe 1%, maybe it's 5%, maybe it's 20%. I'm not too sure what the stats are, but you're gonna get a percentage of gamers that are going to go, you know what, I am a one-system person because I want to be competitive and I want to know all the races and all that sort of shenanigans. And
we know that. You're just going to need to look at the numbers of downloads of podcasts. I'm serious. Podcasts that have a niche or one topic get way more downloads than general podcasts.
There you go.
And that's because I actually think there's more people out there going, I want to know everything about one thing than there is about people going, I want to know lots about lots of things.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely.
So,
I would agree with that.
Oh, well, playing devil's advocate here.
Yeah. You and your horns, you've been sitting
Yeah,
there
well,
all night.
no. It could work in, like, I think a lot of people, especially in the gaming world, will probably listen to a few podcasts as well.
Oh, yeah.
So what it could work for, for example, with the podcast is that, for example, let's say I'm a Kings player. I'm probably going to download Kings-related stuff, right?
Mm-hmm. Shout out to Direct Misfire. How you doing?
Direct Misfire. If you want to know anything about the latest Clash of Kings book, go check out their latest podcast. But I might have another system on the go as well, and it's a really good way of basically trying to be, I guess, average, shall we say, at a couple of systems. I think there's a point where you can't juggle them all the games. Like when I was talking about the purchases that I was making, I was like, I think I'm almost at a point where I'm like, I can't physically juggle this many systems. Okay, I think that's where I'm starting to get at. But if I've got, let's say I got 3 or 4 systems, I could easily download 3 or 4 different podcasts that cater to every one of those systems.
Yeah.
So it's not like I'm pigeonholed into one system and I'm only going to listen to that one system, but I can definitely find 3 or 4 different podcasts for those systems that I find interesting.
Yeah.
The issue that the group that I sometimes have a little bit more of an issue is literally the one game system, because that just seems really. I get it, I understand it, but it's just like
You're not doing yourself any favors at all. There's so much. There's a wealth. Like it comes back to my first RPG session in this house. Is in the studio.
In the studio, yep.
And I remember how apprehensive I was at coming along. So I thought, oh, it's going to be weird. It's just not going to be cool. I just thought, I had so many preconceptions about RPGers. And I thought, but you know what? Give it a go, right? Always give something a go once. That's a big mantra in life, isn't it? Just
We've seen you in the valley. We know that's a mantra.
And it blew my mind. Like the next morning when I woke up, I was just like, holy cow, that's up there as one of my favorite all-time gaming moments. Like that whole set, what we did was wicked. And so for even somebody to go, oh, I'm never going to do RPG, not my jam. I'm like, yes, you've got to get the right people, 100%. But as long as you get the right people, geez, you can have a blast. And I think you're doing yourself a disservice if you don't do at least an RPG once in your life as well. So for those people out there, the one system crew, man, you gotta get out there and experience some different things.
I think we need to add though, because I think it's a bit rich in a way. I don't know if I'm going to phrase this correctly, but for us to be singing that tune, because it wasn't that long ago we were actually, now think about it, we were those individuals.
Yes and no, because I was playing X-Wing a bit with the kids, but we also had Blood Bowl that we played occasionally.
Yeah, and then Blood Bowl fully took over. I mean, pretty much came a one-man or one system.
But we also played 40k for a bit. All right, it was maybe 6 months. But
40k was pretty it was a random event.
I always thought that my hobby ADD come from my love of board games, and I'm flitting around between board games a lot.
So do you think that actually makes it easier for you to maybe play a lot of other systems because you've got more of a board game background, and it's very easy to pick up a whole bunch of different board games and still be playing board games?
Yeah, I think probably, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not even like I I was talking to someone the other day, and it came up like, how do you seem to like know rules and stuff? I'm like, well, I think it's just from playing such a diverse range of games that you sort of see recurring themes and ideas that come through in the rules, and you say, oh, that works like that and that and that, so it sort of sticks in your head a little bit more.
Yeah.
I also just want to go back to the point you made about us almost arguably potentially being that one system crew, but rewind the clock 8 years to the 8th edition, I'm guessing here, maybe 2012, I'm thinking. No, that's 6 years. Anyway, 68 years ago, we didn't have the same diversity as what we do now. You know, you had Infinity was back in N2 days, which by all, from what I understand, like for a start, the miniatures aren't nowhere near as what the cool are, which is what drew me to Infinity, was the miniatures. So Infinity wasn't on anyone's radar at that stage. There's 40k knocking around. Of course, you had the main systems. But outside that, what else did you have? Some people played Kings, but not really, not in our gaming. Like in our, we were exposed. I'm going by what we were exposed to. There's bolt action, but I'm not cool with that. That's just
Flames of War.
Flames of War. I'm not cool with that either. But then again, that's who I am. That's part of.
There were quite a few games.
There were a few games, but nowhere near as diverse.
But the big games took the numbers.
40k, War Machine, Flames of War, Bolt Action, Fantasy, Blood Bowl. I've always been
Yeah, but those two, out of those, say 5, 2 of those I can't ever see myself playing. Never say never, going back to my statement, but just more from my own personal views about stuff, I just can't see myself playing.
Bolt Action, Flames of War?
Yeah.
Yep. And I never liked War Machine.
And War Machine, I'm keen to try it. But
no offense to anyone who plays it, but...
play War Machine just to see it, experience it for my own self. I've had a few players say, oh, you should do it because, it's cool.
Yeah, because you're a hyper-competitive dude. You love it.
I'll just go out and buy a blister pack and play my blister pack unopened. In fact, maybe just a receipt. Just push the receipt around.
I have played cardboard cutouts. Just putting that out there.
And I think also, the other thing
That's
is...
why I don't play.
With place like Connexia opening, I don't think it's an excuse to say, but it's not accessible. Or like, you go to Q&K Saturday gaming day and just hit up the Facebook and say, I want to play X system, whatever it might be, and somebody will say, I'm sure, yes, I'll bring my copy along and we'll play it. So I don't think money's a big, at least to get an introductory game to see if you like it.
You don't think that mindset though, of if I don't have a chance of winning, what's the point of playing?
I think I would hope that's in the minority, and I'm talking the extreme minority of 1% of gamers. Yeah. I would hope. I think they do exist, but I think it's way in the minority. Probably the War Machine players.
Just burn that bridge before you even get to it. I love it.
I like he's burning it, but he's being told that he'll probably really like it.
Yeah.
I never played it either. Yeah. So we'll see.
Cool. Yeah, so I don't know. I guess it's something that's been on my mind a little bit, and which is why we chucked in for random banter. But listeners, if you have any thoughts about one system or
you're one system player and you disagree with what we've said?
Yeah, and hey, we have one system players in our audience.
Mm.
You know who you
to
are.
Those
no offense, I guess we need to take a step back here and saying, if this is your jam, then that's cool. We're never going to tell you that your way of doing hobby is wrong. It's what we're kind of getting at is we don't necessarily can get our head around it.
No, I can't. I can't. I think that's why I was saying. I feel like we were, maybe not you so much, Jacob, but I think we were there. We weren't far off it.
But hang on, here's another point. So going to one system, is having 4 armies in the one system still count as one system? Because that's a big investment. And
that's still one system.
That's still one system.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's like we had it. We had, I think I had
of course.
4 armies. I'm sure you had 4. I'm sure you had 4 armies at one stage.
More.
Yeah.
At a time, I usually averaged 4 armies.
In fact, you got more than 4 armies.
Yeah.
So we were always there was enough in Fantasy Battle in that rule set. Once you bought a new army, it blew your mind.
That's why I'm making those comments. Like, we were there, and like with Warhammer Fantasy at the time, it was so encompassing. Like, there was so much
There's so much to get
that I can get it, but now I just sort of think I'm not going to say anything negative about it in that regard, and I can understand, especially for those that are actually trying to get really good at tournaments and stuff. Totally get it. I'm just saying that's not where I'm at. And if you're trying to get yourself out of that, if you think you possibly are that way inclined and you're thinking, you know what, I wouldn't mind just having a break, I would suggest finding another game system that has simple, easy rules, and maybe doesn't have a huge money investment and whatnot. So that way you can still play your main game system and not get detracted by this other little game that takes up mind slots, because the rules are that simple and easy to just play, throw it away, it's all good, come back in another couple of weeks and play it again and have a bit of fun and some beers. That way it doesn't detract from the main game system that you're actually wanting to put time into.
And you might surprise yourself. You might just enjoy it.
You might.
Great. Well, I think this is probably a perfect place to drop in the promotional code for Toy Soldier Imports.
I'll step up and say PSG 4M3. I'll say it again. PSG 4M3 for that 10% discount off Legion.
How much?
10%.
So, listeners, you put that code, which is once again Muddi,
PSG 4M3
in at the checkout when they ask you for the coupon code. And
And where do you go to get that?
Our awesome buddies at Toy Soldier Imports.
And hey, if you are looking for another system, if you're a one system man, you go, what? I fucking love Star Wars. Let's crack out some Legion. Just what a perfect time.
Didn't have to swear. I'm pretty sure that on the box it's just Star Wars Legion. There's no F in front of it. It's just Star Wars Legion.
What was that movie where they go, America, fuck yeah.
Team America.
Team America.
Yeah. That's cool.
Star Wars Legion, fuck yeah.
That's a t-shirt.
Yeah, so hope our buds out at TSI. Get onto it.
Yep, and shout out to Dion and Con.
Yep.
All right, we're going to wrap it there, ladies and gentlemen.
Yo.
As always, we would love if you check us out on our social media. You can check us on Facebook. Just search Power Stance Gaming there. You probably already like us. You probably already comment. Get involved in conversations. Good stuff. Shop's there too, just saying. If you
Send
want
in
a t-shirt.
send in your questions too.
Get your wife to like the page.
Oh, that is so
That's a
creepy.
fucking edit.
Oh, my goodness.
Came across as an absolute creep.
That was so... It's the way you said it too.
It could. The only way it could have been worse is if you had said, "Get your kids to fucking sign up."
I'll comment on all of their pages.
Oh, I see what you mean now. Could come across a bit like...
You can send us an email at powerstancegamingpodcast@gmail.com. You can check us out on YouTube, Muddi.
YouTube.
What's happening?
Rumble Slam video going up on Saturday.
Excellent. That will be the Saturday before this cast goes out. So it will already be up.
Oh, it's already up. Check it out.
Yeah. Greg, how's Twitter going?
It's going really well.
What's our handle? How do we tweet?
I reckon next time we'll be up to 30 hits. Tweets.
Yeah, and
But
if people
by
want
the
to,
time you hear this, it'll be 30 hits.
if people want to tweet us, how do they get in touch?
Not sure.
At PS Gaming Podcast. All right.
Is he going to get sacked soon or what?
No, because then one of us would have to do it.
Oh, let's get DT in.
We will be putting out, check out seek.com for our social media manager position that will be advertising very shortly.
Jeez, that's a bit harsh. I've only got in the role.
If you you can tweet your resume. If it goes through, you've got the job.
You have to like multiple game systems.
Yeah.
And not one of them is Infinity.
Yeah.
That'll get you an extra scratch and sniff sticker.
And for all of us hipster personas out there, our cast is now streaming on Spotify.
That's sick.
That is pretty sick. We had to jump through some hoops for that.
Really?
So, yeah. Apparently, you need to be relevant.
Wow.
So does that mean we get a plaque to put on the wall that says that we're relevant?
I think we need to put a little Spotify logo somewhere on our banner. 'Cause
We're relevant, really?
I know there are podcasts out there that can't get on Spotify. So,
Boom.
What do they talk about?
I've no idea.
Oh.
I've got
Anyway.
Spotify on my phone.
But not Twitter.
You're still not going to listen to it, so what?
So, yeah, check us out. If you're on Spotify, you can get us on Spotify. Oh, and if you love what you do, back us on Patreon. For the love of goodness.
That is such a good idea.
We want to do another big giveaway in a couple of months. That's all right.
Oh, how would Bane do it? He'd go, buy a shirt. And you too could be one of the people. Fuck Toha. They are oppressors. And I will break the bat.
And I think we're just going to leave it there.
Yeah, let's wrap.
Greg?
Thanks, listeners.
Cheers.
That's sweet. All right. Cheers, guys. Peace.
Thank you for listening to Power Stance Gaming Podcast, the #1 place for tabletop gaming and hobby banter. You know you love us. See you soon.